So lucky to have доктор. Ти ж моя сонечка. Ну, о, окей. Сюди. Куди? Ну, далі то далі. Не сюди. Не до цього чуточку, не? Непогано. А з тобі ж... А чи з тобі нічого не випало? Срань. І там нікого немає. О, там є. Нічка. Kingdom Country Meets. Я зараз висохну. А, в смысле, блин, це таки вся ничка, да?
This must be Clay Cox's knife.
Чу.
A fine blade. No wonder he wants it back.
Чу. А я можу його не любити? Ну так, чисто. Не, напевно, не можу, якщо він лежить в квестейтингах. То, звісно, це дуже дарма. Так. Що в мене тут є? А. Непонятно. Ладно, пішли до чудня. Віддати його таємний ніж. Який лежав в суперсекретному сховку, до якого ніхто не добереться. Сипай. Ага, тобто в мене настільки суворі. Це у мене чого буде такі суворі? Ладно. Окей. Ти не Клей Кокс. Все, Клей Кокс.
Hey, Doc.
Хей, Док. Ну, знайшла я твій ніж.
Gift from your wife.
In that case, you'll be properly rewarded, Doc. Clay Cox is a man of his word.
I hope that won't make me an accomplice to your future crimes.
Who knows what I might do now I feel invincible again.
Давно ти більше накрав гроші. А, і ще 20. Слава. Ну, все одно міг би більше дати.
I'll leave you for now, Mr. Cox.
Думала, ти щедрий. Тут. Тут щось мені махнуло. О. Hello. А в аптеку мені... А, тут дуже недалеко. Чоп.
I said stay away, sir.
Ой.
Are you deaf? Last one, silly! Kill it!
Блять. Що ти побіжиш за мною? А тут я не обійду. Серйозно. Це лікарня. А що тут було? Ну, блядь, вас там двоє. Сюди взагалі треба? А, від 9-го і 10-го. Була в цій мішці, я була в цій мішці. Що мені взагалі десь туди? Або ні. А стоп, ми взагалі на місці. Ага. Та ми взагалі сюди кудись. Ой, там лист. А що це за... Це не лист. Окей.
This is despicable.
Слухай, блін, що ти хотів, чувач? Карантин. Ну, ясно, понятно.
Last warning, sir. Over there! There's one of them burning! Burning fire!
А чого ти мене не б'єш? Ти що, дурак?
He's done for! Doesn't like burning, does it?
Привіт, Кришка.
I have this thirst for blood.
Ну, пише, що двоє. Можливо, одна із них я. Я дійсно думаю, що одна із них я, бо я зайшла через, ну, коротше, через звичайний інтерфейс. А що, є хтось в чаті? Хтось дивиться? Чи я просто бігаю? Ні. Ага, на мосту якийсь чудак. Що за чудак на мосту? 12-го рівня екзекюшенер, хтось ще біля нього. Ну, блін. А якщо я так піду, якщо я на цей міст, тако. Так, тут теж ніс нема. Нащо ви, блін, будуєте світ, в якому є купа ящиків, в яких нічого нема? О. У-у. Потасіум помогранат. 10 і 11. Ні, ну я можу спробувати.
Lead spotted! Watch out, boys! Fuck, he's fast!
Fuck his fast. Ну, да. А я навіть непогано впоралась. Мені здається, що це двуручна херня, це дуже корисна херня. Так буває, коли зброю перебігаєш зі стартової на щось нормальне. І ніц нема. Ладно, я піду через той міст. Значить, ця штука мені вже не треба, бо я піду через цей міст. Топ-топ. Що тут я не можу? Окей. Шкода, конечно, ну що ж вже. Десь. Наче сюди. О. Ой, мені не подобаються ці крики. А ти один? Ладно, я з того боку обійду. Там якісь страшні крики, я думала, що мені туди. 14. Срака. І 16. Срака. Ладно, пішли до хлопця 8 рівня. Я тут просто йду, я тебе не чіпаю, а тепер я зроблю отак. Ось. Ой. Що ж? Все? Все, успокоилась, хлопці? Що з тебе, блін? Чого з них нічого не випадає? Срака. О, тут щось. І грязюка. Це типу мастило чи типу що? О. Або цемпла у вас нема? А що тут кров? Яка лежить? Так, тут должно бути безпечно. Пружинка. Я взяла труп, а в ньому пружинка. Ну так, а, мені все-таки до цього упиря. А давайте ні. Класно придумала. Тут скал 10-го рівня. Я, блін, де? Що тут за ворота? Тут ворота відкриті. Ворота куди? Ворота сюди. Якийсь хайдаут, де я теоретично зможу поспати. Можливо, або ні. Це я йду в аптеку, а їй той інший район. Ой, цивилиан, да? Цивилиан. Привет. Нет, что... хорошо.
Good evening, sir.
Who the fuck are you? Don't you see I'm busy here?
Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Ти стоїш
and
біля
who-
стіни, який ти нахер бізі.
Ah, some fancy gentleman we've got here. Clear off. We don't want strangers on our streets.
So you won't tell me your name, then?
The name is Booth Digby. Maybe I'll ask my boys to break one or two of your bones, just so you remember it.
Are you some kind of vigilante patrolling these streets at night?
Something like that, but the police aren't in charge here. We are, see?
Ще одна банда.
So you're a concerned criminal, is that it?
Using funny jokes about me and my boys, are you? Fuck. You must have some balls.
I saw many men like you during the war, Mr. Digby. Greedy little cockroaches who feed on despair.
I could kill you for saying that. But, nah. You've been a soldier. I can respect that.
То він мене хоче вбити, ну або типу побити мене, але я була в армії, тому він не став. So sweet. Стояти біля стіни – це теж робота. Асю, я знаю тільки одну роботу, частиною якої є стояти біля стіни, і цей чоловік не схожий на представницю цієї професії. Я не тобі.
So, tell me about your gang, then.
What? Have you got a death wish? You really want me to answer that?
Well, yes. You seem so proud of your status. Why not tell me who you're working for?
Oi! I'm the boss, all right? The wet boot boys work for me. All of them. Situation round here is better than other districts because of us. Because of me.
Не, ти ж не цей. Ого. Дуже прикольний чувак. Треба якось його розвести, тому що...
What can you tell me about this part of town?
Things ain't that bad thanks to us. We give people what they need, and we control this borough.
Well, you're not doing a very good job. People are still dying here like everywhere else.
Yeah, well, we can't be everywhere all the time. And Edwina says if we can find more guns, we could be more efficient.
More efficient?
Це така
Really?
Едвіна.
You should probably tell Edwina that guns are useless against diseases and infections.
Не підказуй
Incredible. You
їм,
know what?
слухай.
You're lucky she can't hear you right now. She's more smart than patient. My sweet queen of the docks.
А Едвіна це випадково не дружина? Да. А вона швидка. Вона швидка. Ну, така.
Goodbye, Mr. Digby.
Ти чуєте? О, це генг. Ага. Інтересно. Але мені... Не сюди мені не піти. А от і Едвіна, да?
Good evening, miss. I am Dr. Reed. May I ask you a few questions?
No.
Who are you? What do you want?
As I just told you, I'm a doctor. From the Pembroke Hospital, actually.
The Pembroke Hospital, you say? I ain't paying any bill left by Clay.
Да, це
I'm
його
not here to
дружина.
collect payment, miss.
Miss Edwina Cox. So what do you want then? Fancy buying something from me,
І
maybe?
вона чомусь торгує. Клас. Що, 5? Ніфіга собі. Як змирай скачати?
What can you tell me about your work?
I'm a businesswoman. I buy and sell things, and I send my wet boot boys after anyone who don't play nice with me.
Gang member and shopkeeper.
Так
Can't be
він
easy
зручно.
running double shifts.
If you're interested, I may find use of a doctor who can freely walk across the city, you know.
Ну, good.
You're quite blunt, aren't you?
I like people who know what they want and say what they think. This is a time of great opportunity for those ready to embrace their destiny.
Ну, але ні, дякую.
I'm not interested in a career in the criminal underworld, Miss Cox.
Fair enough. Stay away from us then, if you don't want to get hurt or worse.
Since my return from the
Що
war,
може
I
бути
don't
worse?
feel that concerned by threats, knives, or even bullets, if you must know.
That's exactly what that stupid trade unionist claimed after he attacked one of us. Booth and I reminded him a bullet beats words every time.
Хто їх атакнув? Have recently killed a man. Які ви милі, ребята.
What can you tell me about this part of town?
You can't trust anyone around here. As soon as you lower your guard, you can be sure some arsehole will take advantage of you.
Пане Влад Тапіша, який думав, що там платять не за стояння біля стіни, а за те, що інколи від неї відходять. Я думаю, що якщо дуже сильно хочеться, то можна, не відходячи від стіни, і брати за це додаткові гроші, як за екстра послугу. Да? Підходить? Угу. Хорошо. Красиві капелюхи були у людей, да? Так і зараз можна їх носити просто. Куди? Я прослухала, що вона казала, ладно.
Really? Don't you think that's a little bit excessive?
Bastards, all of them. This region only responds to violence and threats.
Ні, ну, окей. Вони не розуміють по-хорошому, хорошо.
You sound like you're thinking of somebody in particular.
Take the gravediggers of Southwark. They must pay me every week, but it looks like they forgot who gave them permission to steal from the dead.
Looting corpses in a mass grave. That is a new low.
Whatever. Hey, since you're a doctor and all, maybe you can access that forbidden area and remind those bastards what they owe.
Але ж я маю триматися від вас подалі, щоб ви мене не поранили. Чи щось гірше, ні? Вже не треба.
You still use your husband's name, Edwina. Why is that?
Why shouldn't I? He may be a bloody bastard, but I'm still his wife and his name means something round here.
You never paid him a
Oh.
visit at the Pembroke Hospital, did you?
And I don't intend to. In Clay's case, I'm not against a medical mistake or a little help from the Spanish flu.
Тобто вона мені буквально дозволила його з'їсти. Прекрасно. Прекрасно. Що
Tell
за
me about the
чудо?
man you and Booth killed, Edwina.
The bastard killed one of us and received retribution. There's nothing else to say.
A knife for a knife.
What happened exactly?
I don't know and I don't care. One of ours was killed by that communist bastard, but he didn't break for long.
So you had no idea what really happened, but you executed him anyway.
No one messes with the wet boot boys, Doctor. This is our territory and this is our law.
Ого. Ні, ну це якась дуже скоро.
And your conscience is clear. You kill without hesitation.
Violence is an efficient tool, Dr. Reed, when used properly.
So you decide who lives and who dies, just like that.
Yes, Doctor. Just like that. I'm not saying it's fair. I'm saying it's my way of dealing with troublemakers.
Окей. Окей, її все влаштовує. Ну, з іншого
Can I
боку...
offer you my medical help, Miss Cox?
I'm fine, thank you.
Ну да, вона ж здорова. Вона ж це лежала. Так. Ну, блін, це логічно, якщо зразу вбити людину, яка приносить тобі проблеми, вона не буде тобі більше приносити проблем. А що я тут ще
Tell
не
me about the
спитала?
man you and Booth killed, Edwina.
The bastard killed one of us and received retribution. There's nothing else to say.
Ні, medical help – це типу їй дати засіб від головного болю. If you know what I mean. Це пояснює походження епідемії. Що пояснює походження епідемії? Підтримка архітектури? Ага, да. Ну, да, якщо вони... Таке чекай, масові поховання ж в Лондоні з'явилися уже після початку епідемії. Це може пояснити, чого вона ніяк не вспокоїться. Але... Треба нашим розказати в 2022 році. А в нас немає масових могил, в нас же морги нормальні придумали. Ай.
Booth Digby looks at you with love-struck eyes. Tell me, Edwina, is the feeling mutual?
You have no idea how refreshing it can be for a woman to receive all the pleasure she needs. For once.
Fair enough.
I'll take your word for it.
What is it,
Вона
Doctor?
його любить чи не
A
любить?
woman's not supposed to talk about these things.
Ну, мені знову треба вибрати. Да. Другий варіант зазвичай нормальний.
I'm not that easily shocked, Miss Cox. You can speak
Конечно,
freely
можеш
about a lover
говорити.
if you so
У
wish.
нас
The
же
poor
тут не
bastard is good to
19
me, if you
століття.
must know. He makes me feel good. And that's a first.
So you're just like any other couple, after all, are you not?
Yeah, we're so ordinary that I'd put a bullet in his head if he ever cheated on me.
Ага, тобто це отак вони трактують. Хорошо. Хорошо. Що в тебе є?
Can I see what you have to sell?
As long as you have money, I'll show you all I have.
All the pleasure. Про каву. Interesting. Але я сьогодні вже каву попила. Я взагалі намагаюся злізти з кави. Але сьогодні зранку доступні рідини були тільки вода і, так сказати, human filtered. Тому що в мене тільки електроплита. Тому так, тому кави я вже попила сьогодні. В Києві є масове поховання, правда, то могильник з сільською виразкою, але то деталі. Ну, нормально. Є план Б, якщо росня прийде. Хвилинки чорного гумору на Поліна FM. Чи варто мені купити набої? Я думаю, о, мені треба був Common Trigger Part. Бо я хотіла щось про апгрейдити. Але я не пам'ятаю, що. Але не йду. Що я тобі можу продати? А в мене повно наборів. Ладно, я поки не зрозуміла, як тут правильно торгувати. В смислі, у
Without
мене
the
два.
wet boots keeping things straight, these parts would be running completely amok.
Да, ти молодець, хорошо, я так і зрозуміла. Ти сильна і незалежна жінка, яка хоче all the pleasure. Домовились. У нас є чумка. У вас це в Одесі є чумка, да? Ага. Ну, мені здається, що урбаністичне планування завжди було сильною рисою.
This is
Привіт, Кристо.
despicable.
А це... Ага. На що мені треба був хайдаут, бо я хотіла... Та ні. Давайте я... А тут були упирі. Ну ладно, а якщо я тоді попробую піти на головний квест світ, 300 метрів, це ж небагато, правда? Нічого ж зі мною. Нічого ж зі мною не станеться, да? О, це цей бар, я тут можу поговорити з офіціанткою.
Evening, miss.
Well, I never. That's a first. Customers who make that much mess rarely come back. Never mind in fancy togs.
I'm much more
Да, я
myself than when
перевдяглася.
we first met. By the way, I'm Jonathan. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Welcome back to the Turquoise Turtle then, Doctor. I'm Sabrina
Та ми
Cavendish.
ж
How can I help
знайомились
you?
вже. Ой, ладно.
Розкажи мені про... Ну, можна і про
What can you
доктора.
tell me about this area?
People don't appreciate that line of questioning round here. You best be more careful with what you say, sir.
You look concerned, Miss Cavendish.
This is a bad borough. Most people I know are afraid. Most locals will rob you blind, or worse. You best mind your step.
Ну, а що за хінт? Ага, feels unsafe. Поховань майже немає. За міською легендою, коли її розкопають, а там невеличкий курган, в місті знов спалахне чума. Ну от, у вас теж є план Б. Цілком можливо, якщо збудник достатньо стійкий. Ну от. Тепер ми знаємо, що робити. Якщо... Що? Що я... Ага. Ну... Да, типу.
So you and your friends
Simple.
all feel in danger? No exceptions?
Tom's the only exception I've come across until now.
So sweet.
But he's not like everybody else.
Вона в нього втріскалась, але цю підказку ми вже отримали.
This place seems, how shall I put it, very colorful. I'm sure it has plenty of stories to tell.
We get people of all sorts here. It's that rare place in the docks where you can have a drink without being murdered. At least it's not happened yet.
Вибачте.
So this bar is neutral territory then?
Yeah. Tom's convinced this is something the locals need. No one ever draws a weapon here. That's one of the reasons I accepted the job.
Your boss must be quite the negotiator to force such an agreement.
Yeah. Tom's a great bloke. Mr. Hampton, who runs the night asylum, he's the only other man that's able to keep peace around here.
Так, блін, їх послухала.
Your boss must be quite the negotiator to force such an agreement.
Yeah. Tom's a great bloke. Mr. Hampton, who runs the night asylum, he's the only other man that's able to keep peace around here.
Це ото, якого я врятувала, да? Окей. Personal questions.
Excuse my curiosity, but where exactly are you from, Miss Cavendish?
Something
Як
bothering you?
негарно.
What, my name? Or my complexion?
Believe me, I never judge someone on their place of birth or the color of their skin.
If that's true, you'd be one of the few not to make fun of me. Just you, Tom, Dyson, Miss Fishburne, and of course Mr. Hampton.
Це звучить як дуже багато людей, насправді.
I'm sorry if I worried you. I was just curious to find out if you know this part of town well.
Nosy. My dad was a sailor from Bombay, and my mum was a maid born up in Glasgow. They got married in London, and here I am.
Так, блін, Сабріна Кавендіш, що в неї не так з іменем? Ладно. Розкажи, як ти в нього закохана.
Sabrina, tell me about your true feelings for your boss.
I love Tom. Not ashamed of it. Don't care if the customers joke about it neither.
Who's mocking you?
I mean, we're always together. People will talk, won't they?
Так. Так дивно іноді з висоти 21-го сторіччя дивитися на оце от. Ну, люди ж будуть говорити, ну і що? І що? Скажіть мені.
Does Tom love you?
Yeah, but he's always reluctant to take it further. It's not because I'm younger, or because of the colour of my skin. He hates jokes about us.
Ні, це не то був. Просто так сталося, але це... It's not you, it's me, конечно. А, це ж я тільки що подумала. Ну, все, пока.
Goodbye, Miss Cavendish.
Hello.
Good evening, sir.
Whatever.
Don't you recognize me? We met a few nights ago.
Don't take it personally. I spent a lot of energy forgetting what I did the night before.
Yes, you
Oh.
had definitely drunk too much then as well. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed.
I'm Dyson Delaney. I'll try to remember you. This time.
Ти такий милий чувак. Так, треба його полікувати.
What do you do for a living, Mr.
Сидить в
Delaney?
барі. Улюблен.
I drink.
Я скажу.
I drink in the morning and at noon. I drink at night. And then I drink some more.
Стабіліті.
Why do you drink so much?
Maybe it's because I prefer dying slowly. Death can be so abrupt. Personally, I like to see mine coming at my own pace.
You sound very sad, sir.
That's because I am Doc.
Don't you work at all?
I'd love to, but I don't have the time. Didn't I tell you? Drink in the morning and at noon. I drink at night.
Я тепер так буду відповідати. Коли в мене чоловік спитає, чого я щось не зробила.
Is there anything in particular that you like about this part of town? Except for the cheap drinks, I mean.
How dare you say such a thing? I love this neighborhood. So friendly. So joyful.
Це був сарказм.
No reason at all to rejoice, then? Life is hopeless and then we die, is that it?
Let me tell you a story.
Ну, давай.
All right. Go on.
A few years ago, when I believed a resolute man could change things around here for good, a tragedy occurred nearby.
What kind of tragedy?
It was a bomb. Bomb that exploded and killed many people. Metal and blood everywhere. Shouts, fire, broken window of the shoe shop, the torn streetlight.
You lost people you loved that day, didn't you?
I've lost everything. But you know what the worst part is? I don't even remember where it happened. I've drunk so much to forget it. Now I can't remember where it was. I can't pay my homage to the dead.
I'm sorry, Mr. Delaney.
It's okay. If you ever find the place, just leave a flower for me there. Even if you tell me where it is. I'm not sure I'd memorize it.
Strongly happy few vibes.
Is there anything in particular that you like about this part of town? Except for the cheap drinks, I mean.
How dare you say such a thing? I love this neighborhood. So friendly. So joyful.
Why are you so cynical?
Cynicism is the polite way to express despair, Doctor.
Інтересно.
No reason at all to rejoice, then? Life is hopeless and then we die, is that it?
Let me tell you a story.
Another time, perhaps. I'm not sure I want to hear another sad story.
Так, блін, чому все ще? Ладно.
Surely you must have had dreams and expectations when you were young,
А це тут до
like
чого?
everybody
Ладно.
else.
Sure, I wanted things to change. To really change, and to change for good. The bigger the dream, the harder the fall.
Sounds like you were an idealist, which is honorable.
No, sir. I was an anarchist and I believed that exclusive property is a robbery in nature. I wanted a new world to rise from the ashes, Dr. Reed.
Ого.
Do you really think the world is that?
No, I believe we all can choose to make it better. But most of us are too weak, too corrupt and too guilty. I failed for sure, but others will come.
I want to know more about your past as an anarchist, Dyson.
I'm still an anarchist, Doctor, make no mistake. I just reject violence as a tool to change the world, unlike my comrades.
Do you believe in a bloodless revolution, then?
I do not believe in much anymore, Doctor. But I'll admit I like your idea of peaceful change. I like it a
Моя
lot.
ідея. Окей.
Do you still see your comrades, then? Even if you don't agree with their methods anymore, I mean.
No. I hope they'll come to share my point of view one day. I'll raise my glass to that splendid idea.
Ти, звісно, дуже дивний чувак, але окей. А, треба ж тебе.
Inebriation aside, do you need medical help?
Yes. I feel sicker than usual these days.
Take this, then. And perhaps you could try to slow down the alcohol intake, too.
Hey, Doc, you don't really want me to stop the only remedy I can afford.
Inebriation aside, do you need medical help?
I already drink the only medicine that suits me, Doctor.
Окей.
Goodbye,
Рековерінг так
Mr. Delaney.
рековерінг. І... А тут кімната іще.
He didn't deserve this.
Хто такий Джек? А, це кабінет Субонді з портретом Дейсона. Інтересно, інтересно. Да, нічого не видно. Хорошо.
Been to India.
Are you stupid? А це чий портрет? Непонятно. Але тут є ручки. Тут що? Я? А, тут. Все, тут закінчились пустючі штуки. Є що? Єсть. Це взагалі не впевнена, що мені сюди можна, але тут були відкриті двері, так що. Тут зачинено і... А, ні, входу можна. Привіт.
Good evening, Tom.
Good evening, sir. How are you tonight? Back to the docks, are we?
You remember me then?
Of course I do.
Конечно, що
You're that man
тверезий.
who seemed so lost when he entered my bar a few nights ago.
Thank you for your hospitality. I'm Jonathan Reed, by the way.
I'm still Tom Watts. Welcome back, Doctor.
Тебе лікувати не треба, хорошо.
What can you tell me about this part of town?
It's not that bad. Thanks to people like the sad saint of the East End.
Who?
Sean Hampton, our own
Да, ти ж
private holy
бачив.
figure.
Ти що забув?
Few are foolish enough to make peace with the gangs. Sean is one of them.
How is it you can keep this place open? This part of town doesn't seem particularly safe.
Well, since everybody needs a drink, my pub is considered neutral ground by most groups.
You're something of a figurehead around here.
I'm only pouring alcohol for everyone to forget their troubles. Sean Hampton is the one giving them long-term hope.
I see. So you get pressure from all sides about how this place should be run, do you?
Or something like that. Nothing that a few wise words and a bottle of gin can't solve.
Хорош, хорош.
Since I'm here, is there anything I can do?
Well, perhaps, Doctor. Peace partly depends on my stock of gin. With the epidemic, my supplies are running low.
How could a physician help you in this matter?
Ну не
I have a
мішай,
small
ну блін.
warehouse just past the quarantine line. Perhaps, with you being a doctor, you could go there and come back?
Doctors aren't immune to disease, you know.
А ти ім'ю.
Very well. Show me where it is. I'll see what I can do.
Oh, thank you, sir. Here's the key to get in. You're about to save many dry throats.
Геніальний хірург, всесвітньо відомий, шанована людина. І такий повернувся, став вампіром і бігає хлопчиком на побігеньках.
Why does your waitress feel in danger
Career
working
move.
on the docks?
This part of town is dangerous for all, but for women it's worse, as always.
Дякую,
Sabrina is
що
a brave
визнав.
girl, but she can't help feeling in danger.
Do you think she has good reason to feel this way? Are you not worried about her safety?
Of course I am. The truth is, she's tougher than me deep inside. She just has to learn to control it.
О, я можу її зробити вампірякою, і вона буде тав не тільки інсайд. Але я не думаю, що це прописано в скрипті.
Sabrina seems very fond of you, Tom.
Не гарно
I
так
like
робиться,
her
але
too.
ладно.
I really do. I know I'm her boss, and I'm much older and all. But I like her for sure.
What is bothering you then?
Sabrina is an angry one. She wears it like a coat. I'm not sure I can make her shed that anger. It hurts to see her like that.
Так. Все, поговорили. Медикал чекап тобі не треба. Пока.
Goodbye, Mr. Watts.
He didn't deserve this.
О, у них тут є їжа.
Sounds like the...
Я знайшла якісь ще нові? Не знайшла.
These are good drinks just as likely to cause a problem as to solve one.
А, тут були пирі, а я тут... Так. Я думаю, що цей же має бути не так. Далеко. А ця штука... О, а це... Ага, склад у нього недалеко. Ми пішли на склад. О. Або пішли дивитися на цивілів. О, деньги. Хто, блін, гроші так розкидає? Ну, алло. У вас же все вкрадуть. О, ще якийсь цивіл.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Why must it always be a good evening?
I was just being polite.
Мені
I'm
подобається
Dr.
цей
Reed.
хлопець.
I'd like to ask you some questions, if I may.
Don't like questions or doctors.
О,
And the name is Seymour Fishburne, if you must know.
холд. Ого. Мені здається, що цих чоловіків треба лікувати від простуди.
What can you tell me about this part of town?
A shithole filled with maggots. Liars and thieves, all of them.
Непогано.
Are you thinking about someone in particular?
Nope. Hate them all. Especially these petty, whining little shitbag beggars.
Що? А, жебраки.
Is there no one who deserves your leniency then?
Well, Tom from our local is somewhat of a decent bloke. At least, unlike most maggots, he knows how to listen without opening his trap.
Така приємна людина.
What's your occupation?
I take care of my mum. That's what I do.
Окей.
She's the only good thing in my life. Even though I don't treat her so good.
You seem upset. Is something bothering you?
I lost the necklace I bought her. I'm a fucking idiot. A worthless idiot.
Sometimes it's hard to be a good son.
I just want her to
Особливо, якщо ти
smile.
губиш її на
No, I
місто.
was thankful for her patience, appreciated like... God knows she deserves it.
Goodbye, Mr. Fishburne.
Тут була його мамця, не?
Hello, boy.
Hello. Good evening.
Did I
Hello.
scare you? You have nothing to fear
Він же
from me.
сивий, який нафіг бой.
No, it's just that people prefer to avoid me.
Well, I won't.
Чого?
I'm a doctor.
Іменно ти
My
перса,
name is
іменно
Rufus,
доктор.
so Rufus Kingsbury.
What can you tell me about this region?
It's all about staying out of trouble. But since most people prefer to avoid me, it's pretty easy.
Непогано. Да, до речі, чого тебе ніхто не цей? А, не, ні. Ого.
Why do people avoid you?
They call me Rufus the Curse. Around here, I'm a bit of a bad luck charm.
Інтересно.
Have you ever thought about leaving?
Where else would I go? At least I know these streets and some people around here. This is my city, for better or worse.
Окей.
What do you do around here, Rufus?
I listen to the news on the docks, sir. And I smile at those kind enough to spare me a bob.
Do you have a job?
It's hard to work, what with my head and all.
Що ти говориш?
Since I was a boy, I've always had trouble remembering what I do and why I do it.
А.
What do people say about this place?
А як він тоді
Things have been
запам'ятовує
tense between the
плітки?
wet boot boys and the communists. They both feel they should run the docks.
І тут комунянки. Are you alone? Це в якому сенсі
Are you
питаєш?
alone?
А,
Where is your family?
ну,
I don't have any. My parents are dead.
So you have no home? You're sleeping rough.
No. I mean, yes. I live on the streets. I have no home.
This city has abandoned so many of its children. It's tragic.
I've known worse. I'm not all alone. I have Mrs. Fishburne. She's been very kind to me.
Why do you think she's so considerate?
I can't say, sir. I guess she's a good soul.
це мама
Sometimes it's
у
like she
того
replaces
чоловіка.
the mother I lost, even if we're not related.
So long, Rufus. Be careful. Take care.
А, це до неї додому звідти.
Good evening, madam. I'm Dr. Reed. Could I come in?
Ох ти.
Why? What do you want?
I work
Ah,
at the
good.
Pembroke
Mhm.
Hospital. I'm investigating the flu epidemic in this area.
Oh, the Spanish flu. Well, that's quite liberal of you, Doctor. But this is no time to be knocking at people's doors.
Ого. А.
I'll leave you then. Good night.
А як нас Мирай скачати? Блін. Блін. Я можу з ним попідглядати.
Don't you think Miss Fishburne is nice to us? But I always have the feeling she's hiding something.
А він з
For
машини
now.
говорить.
You're still the only real friend I have, Jack.
Ауч. So friend is a red. Ауч. Hello. А я можу до неї якось злізти? Ну, типу, не через... Схоже, що ні. Блядь, я ж злякалась.
I cannot enter.
Обідно, да? Але принаймні тут не дуже багато цих рівнів, і це, бляха, радує. Я кудись туди, чи кудись не туди. Здається, кудись не туди. Гра за мотивами мультика Рататуй. Да-да, дуже схожа. Я не здивуюся, якщо насправді зі мною говорила миша, а не цей хлопець. Ця тітенька, яка мені не відкриває двері. А мені десь сюди. А як я туди доберуся? Біля цих човників я була. Да, чого ти не читаєш? А що? Пуп. Да, я скажу, що кудись туди залізла. Тут у нас безкоштовна експо. А мені сюди, да? Ні? А мені нагору? А може мені нагору? А може і нагору. Так, сюди я, здається, не зайду. Fine quality furnitures. Так. Мені ще не треба криска. Ось тут сюди не можу. Ну, добре. Хорошо. Пішли тоді. Тобто вас не треба стріляти.
Sorry, sir. No admittance. Leech spotted! Watch out!
Як ти швидко додумався? Давай, дай, мазафака, дай.
Christ, he's dead!
He's dead. You should be too. А ця дворучна штука, вона прям потужна, мені подобається. Все, можна розслабитися. Це не мені казалось про no admittance. Тю. Зараз я піду позбираюся, що тут є, тому що я хобот і мені треба все захопити. І підемо нагору. Мені здається, що я на цьому складі вже була, коли тікала в інтро. Чи ні? Чи так? Я не знаю. А що тут є вихід? Як цікаво. А що тут ще забрати? Бо я б забрала, я така. Тут ні, тут просто двері, тут якась шафа. В шафці має бути щось. Newspaper article. Newspaper article. Ага. Це я читала. Якогось молодика заарештували за спробу вбивства. Тома Вотса, нашого мирного негошіатора, заарештували за спробу вбивства в ресторані «Срібний дзвоник». Десь там він стояв посеред ресторану, розмахував стволом і в сторону якогось Боже, клієнта. Десь приблизно хвилину і не стріляв. Так, чого це тоді? Спроба вбивства. Це... Ладно. Його просто заарештували, але він відмовився пояснювати свої дії, тільки сказав своє ім'я. Інтересно, треба з ним про це поговорити. Да, хінт. Хорошо. Треба забрати джин. На чому саме граєте, якщо не секрет? На компі. Хорошо. Я забрала алкоголь. Можна забрати джин собі, але на що? А що я можу? А на що мені джин? Ну, типу, в припущенні, що я його лишу собі. Інтересно. Ладно. Да, я граю на десктопі. Специфікації я так, щоб на пам'ять не пам'ятаю, але у мене зараз графіка на ультрах. Я не знаю, що воно видає на стрім, і наскільки воно на стрімі гарне, але у мене воно дуже гарне і дуже блискуче. Якби стріляв було б вбивство. Ну, блін, можна ж стрельнути і не попасти. І це тоді не буде вбивство. Ну, в такому випадку я вірю, що це attempted murder, тому що він намагався вбити людину і в нього не вийшло. А просто махати, треба почитати якісь офіційні визначення злочинів, але я не згодна з тим, що...
It's locked, all right.
Вот. Я не згодна з тим, що просто махати пістолетом – це спроба вбивства. Джин, щоб згадувати 3 бажання. Ну, я думаю, це трохи не та пляшка і трохи не та лампа. Але хто знає, я все одно планую віддати йому пляшки, бо я не знаю...
I hope I live long enough to see them wet boot boys get what's coming to them.
Я просто не знаю, що з ними робити, а йому вони, здається, стануть в нагоді.
Welcome back, Doctor. What can I
Чи
do
в
for you?
пригоді. Що там з твоїм арештом? Розкажи мені.
Tell me about your arrest for attempted murder, Tom.
I tried to kill someone. I got arrested. I paid my debt and I have nothing to hide.
So you mean your customers know about your sordid past?
Yeah, why do you think this is the last pub open? I have nothing to hide and I don't judge. That's a relief for many round here.
Це звучить як несподіваний шматочок мудрості.
Do you think prison changed you? Made you a better man?
Oh, I don't know about that. All I brought back is bad memories, scars,
І гарна татуха.
and an ugly tattoo of a blue turtle.
But do you feel cleansed of your sins?
All I know is that I'm at peace. I did what I did, but I wouldn't do it again. Does that make me a better man? I don't know.
You attempted murder. Give me some details.
I was given an order to kill. I was an obedient gang member at the time, a proud wet boot boy.
Ого. У мене таке враження, що в них просто одна банда і комуністи, і це вся політика.
Why did you join the gang?
Because I finally felt useful. Do you have any idea what it means to feel respected when the rest of the world shits on you?
So you were ordered to kill someone. What happened then?
I don't know if you can possibly understand, but I couldn't kill him. I just
Да,
stood
я не
there pointing my
зрозумів.
gun. Someone saw me. I gave up.
Why couldn't you shoot?
My target was eating in that fancy restaurant with mirrors and music. He was eating, drinking, laughing. He was having such a good time. I hated him for his bottomless appetite and easy life of easy pickings.
Да, це не схоже на комуніста.
And then something happened.
Так, давайте подумаємо, що сталося. Та, я думаю, він зрозумів, що він Sad Little Bean.
You've had a sad, violent, and lonely life, with no joy to speak of. You realized that you were living with nothing but sadness.
No, not really. I had friends and happiness in my life. That was more about just being pleased for the guy.
І думала ж відповісти цей... Ладно.
Why not leave town and start a new life after you got out of jail?
I grew up in the East End. This is where my roots are. This is where I want to help others and die, eventually.
Це заслуговує поваги, насправді.
Do you think the docks will always be a hive of
Враховуючи
scum and
нас,
villainy?
наш
As long as
теперішній
poverty and
контекст.
fear run the show, I don't see how it would change. Misery loves company, as they say.
Don't you feel threatened, staying in such a violent and criminal neighborhood?
I've made peace with my violent past, Dr. Reed. I may not be a pacifist, but I'm not angry anymore.
На відміну від Сабріни, да? Чого? В тебе дві? А, типу, в тебе другого рівня хвороба. Фу. Фу. Ну.
You lied to me, Tom. Your warehouse wasn't empty. It was inhabited with armed vigilantes.
I'm sorry, Dr. Reed, but I thought those Prewen guards would be willing to let someone like you pass without trouble.
That was devious of you, Tom.
Yep.
Next time you can bloody well go yourself.
I apologize, Doctor, but it's just that I prefer to avoid the law, its enforcers, and all manner of thugs in uniform.
Ну, логічно. Ладно, на свої.
Here is your booze. I hope it will appease your customers. Just try
Але
not
не
to
гарно
kill
так
anyone
робити.
with this poison of yours.
Believe me, Doctor, most of my customers are less agreeable when sober.
Але заплатив.
Goodbye, Mr. Watts.
So few clients. What with the epidemic, no one dares go
Красунчик.
outside.
Are they stupid or something?
Що в нього за чим таке? Він же спить достатньо. Grave Diggers, Bombing і... Так. О, намисто десь тут. А я типу його просто маю знайти, да? Цікаво, як ви це пропонуєте зробити. Підождіть, що було на горі? Так. Що? Це хто? Це миші чи це якісь? Так, ну оце миша, це Едвіна. Це... Це дитина мала? Ого. Я тут... А, тут я не зайду. А це... Це кудись в інший район, мені ж не сюди, да? Да, мені не сюди. Окей. Крові мені вистачає. І знову не сюди. Тут що? Ой. Тут ніц не видно. Брідж. Це схоже на той міст, з якого я переходила. Ну да, це оцей міст, здається. Ні, я думаю, що мені не сюди. А, тут. А, ну да, це міст через Темзу. Може внизу? Хто в чаті сидить? Як ви думаєте, де цей? Де намисто? Ні, грошики я, звісно, заберу, але Руфус Кінгсбері Шек. Як я маю твою цю знайти? Твоє намисто. І це не двері. Тут воно, о-моє. А, ні, тут я була. Може воно у Руфуса? Може воно у Руфуса вдома? Намисто було під мостом. Тут не можна зайти під міст. Якби в чому нюанс. Або що, може, я тут десь не обійшла. От.
Good evening, Mr. Fishman.
Yeah.
Так, тут ми вже все поговорили.
Goodbye, Mr. Fishburne.
Так, тут живе його мама, яка нас не пускає. Тут живе оцей чудак.
Evening, Rufus.
Evening, Mr. Reed.
How come you consider it your only friend?
I found Jack when he was a baby, alone amongst dead rats. Poison, probably. He was the weakest, but he survived. Just like me with my parents.
Like you and your parents?
When I was 8, my parents died in a car accident. Rumour says I didn't get a scratch.
Так може він тоді навпаки good token, а не bad token.
You don't remember the accident?
Щось це все странніше
I
і
was little back
странніше.
then. It's been a blurry mess and very quiet in my head ever since.
How have you survived? Did anybody take care of you?
I don't have any family left, really. Except for the good Mrs. Fishburne. She's like my family now.
Щось я так підозрюю, що
So long, Rufus. Be careful. Take care.
що намисто лежить у нього вдома. Ну, типу, от в цій хатинці. Ну, але питання, як сюди залізти. Бо оце не двері. От якщо її обійти, то там був Типу, район змінився, і мені сказали, що оп. От, ти в нього в шеку, але я не знаю, як сюди залізти. І, блін, дуже бісить, що він не може стрибати. І тут ніяких немає балкончиків, куди я можу застрибнути. Але тут висить плакат, і тут є сходи, і тут є ящик, так що може я просто потім зможу туди зайти. Бо зараз я типу не можу, ні?
It's locked.
It's locked. Хорошо. Тобто погано, звісно, но... Так. А ти де? А це, типу, от ж сюди. Ну, може і да. А чекайте, я експи вже трохи накопила. Може я піду посплю? Прокачаю там якихось скілів. Я не туди йду. Да, я не туди йду. Гра просто про те, як красиво ходити під дощем. Я все зрозуміла. Це не цікавий плакат. Може це цікавий? Це теж не цікавий плакат.
Times like these, a good drink's just as likely to cause a problem as to
I hope
solve
I
one.
live long enough to see them wet boot boys get what's coming to them.
Don't forget to keep an eye out for this garden. Something, sweetie.
А тут щось.
My guess is they're recruiting for some vengeance.
In the meantime, the boys are waiting.
Це... А, ну да, це туди до мене. Була схованка біля бару. Ось о бар. А ось це схованка. Ну, хорошо, набої в мене є. Із ліків мені треба один нежить і анемія. І головний біль. А від головного болю я ще нічого не вмію робити. Анемія. Пум. Нежить. Пум. Да. Оце я молодець, це я правильно все зробила і... Давайте щось качати. Що я можу прокачати? Я хочу якісь із цих скілів прокачати, наприклад... А чекайте, тут в мене є тінь, а це... Мілі, Shadow і Blood. Ой, мені подобається, це якась маса. Ага, значить тут треба кігті прокачати. Ну, просто щоб були всі елементи. 1000. Блін. Так. Да. Хорошо. А, я все до 10 рівня. Ну ладно. О. Я вилікувала чуваків. Можу цих піти вилікувати. Я забула кого лікувати. А, от. Так що тут було? Окей. А я тобто не можу в цей смітник залізти, а ти можеш.
Evening, Rufus.
Evening, Mr. Reed.
Що цей світиться? Я ж... Ладно.
Do you need help?
A real doctor caring about me. That's a
Уяви
first.
собі.
I feel like a real person.
Блін. Тепер мені сумно, що я вистібала.
The real doctor treats everyone the same, Rufus.
I don't know what to say. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So long, Rufus.
До побачення.
Be careful. Take care.
І... Сеймура треба знайти. Так, хорошо, а де стать, щоб за тобою пошпигувати? Може він його десь поклав і він мені скаже, де він його поклав? Воу. Воу. Воно ж мені має якось інтерфейсом магнуть, сказати, що типу от. За ним можна попідслуховувати, іди послухай, да, ні? О. Так, і... А, він зараз піде додому, і я послухаю їх розмову з мамцею, да? Оп-оп-оп. Така... Де стать? З того боку стать. Чорт, чорт, чорт. А! Да, з того боку стать.
Stupid brat is gone. Good. I was tired of the maggot always hanging around our house anyway.
My God, Seymour. Have you hurt the boy?
Of course not. Why do you care so much about that cockroach? Do I need to talk to rats to get some attention too?
Don't be so childish. You know I love you, Seymour.
But you worry more about that stupid maggot.
Don't speak about him that way. Rufus has always been the kindest boy.
Yeah? Unlike your real son, right?
Ой-ой-ой. Що? Ти ревнуєш свою матір до оцього от. Але це не допоможе мені знайти намисто. І не допоможе мені зайти сюди, да?
Good evening, madam. It's Dr. Reed again. May I come in?
You best come back in the morning, Doctor.
Ну, блін, я ж не можу
I'll leave
зайти.
you then. Good night.
Я не можу прийти зранку. Я сраний вампір. Може і правда спробувати піти по сюжетному квесту? Ну так, типу, здивувати. Навіть не знаю кого, але здивувати. Ну, наприклад, навіть не знаю. Ти сюди, а це що? Це є де? Щось є? Кажу, що нема нікого. Оп. Так. Гроші. Не гроші, а лист. Теж непогано. І неклес. А чого воно тут? Ні, чекайте, це квестовий? Це квестове намисто чи ні? Ні. Бус Дігбі – це новий чоловік, значить, головою банди. Пише якомусь Френку. І що ти хочеш? Жаліється на Клея. Так, він пише якомусь Френку і, типу, просить роботу додатково. Блін, можна було просто почитати. Ага, він хоче покинути цю банду. Інтересно. Так, а намисто було не квестове. Може, я можу його віддати, і воно проканає як квестове? Ну, можеш таке бути, правильно? Що? Я вийти не можу. О, блін. А тут я перестрибнути можу? Можу. Хорошо. Десятий. Ти один? Схоже, що один. Найс. Ага, ось твій друг. Блін, тільки що ж було видно, ні? Він за машинкою. Так. Ти 8-й, а ти 10-й. Які прекрасні звуки. Просто прекрасні. Я взагалі туди йду. Ну, не дуже, звісно. Не дуже. Ладно. Що? О, привіт. Сюди я можу застрибнути? Не можу. Ну, що ж. І сюди не можу зайти. Що ж таке? 9. Ну, можна жити. Ти один? Ну, навряд чи ж він прям зовсім. А, їх 3. Але вони не дуже. Ну, я думаю, що має бути. А мені головне подобається, його типу, товариша кусають, а він такий, ой, сяду подивлюся. Все, закінчила. Так, а це знову хочуть людей в армію. Лут. Лут і ще лут. Ну, окей. Так, я думаю, що якщо я раптом якісь нички пропущу, то це ж не страшно, правда?
I cannot enter.
І я дарма пішла сюди, да? Тобто тут я зайти не можу, треба через госпіталь. Але, принаймні, я знаю, що мені кудись в цю сторону. І тут теж я не можу пройти, а тут? І тут не можу. Ой, як негарно. І ще й річка занадто широка, ну... Та що ж таке? З навігацією в мене сьогодні щось не дуже. Тут я мушу визнати. Це я що? А, це я через баржу стрибала. Пуф. Пуф. А, це тупик. Піду, спробую віддам на мост. А я ж можу в інтерфейсі подивитися, чи може я не можу. Ну і ладно. Що поробиш? Сюди десь треба. Ні. А, як звідси вийти? Оце? Оце? Сюди вийти? Ну, похоже, що да. Сліди крові або цей скал. Звісно, що я піду за експою. Ти 8-го рівня, ти 10-го. Тому що треба спочатку тебе зняти. Кря! Кусь! Що? Ого! Чого вас так багато? Тебе доб'ю? Нямка. Чекай, їх більше було. Що ж ходить нормально. Оп. Ну, або ні. Так, це взагалі куди йдуть? Це... Кудись не туди, але... Save the old man by defeating the skulls. Ну ладно. Ти там щось мовчки жареш, а ти страждаєш. Оп. А де там old man? Тепер ви тут вдвох щось жерете. Ні, піду ближнього мочить. Феря? Ус. Раз, два, три.
This is Braille.
Оце old man.
I need someone who can read this.
Ага, шрифт Брайля. Чудово. А де я можу знайти людину, яка вміє читати шрифтом Брайля? Хочеться вірити, що в лікарні, але взагалі не факт. А, от там треба врятувати чудака. Я, в принципі, вже відновилася. 16, 19. Я, напевно, пізніше зайду. Ні, я щось не туди йду. Мені треба на північ. А північ у нас отам. Я можу вийти? Я можу вийти. Хорошо. Північ. О, треба було ж його вилікувати. Да, я ж хотіла його вилікувати.
Good evening, Mr. Fishman.
Yeah.
Тут нічого нема, тут нічого нема. Я
Do you
можу
require
тебе
medical
вилікувати.
assistance?
That's something I didn't expect to hear again. A doctor concerned with the health of his patients. Yeah. I could use some help. On several matters, in
On
fact.
several matters. Ну, в мене є тільки
I
одне
don't know
ліки.
which kind of doctor you're used to dealing with, but it's a doctor's purpose to heal people.
And is it your purpose as well, Mr. Reed? I would say it's a convenient way for gaining people's trust.
Ти блін, капець який розумний.
Goodbye, Mr. Fishburne.
Whispers of monsters got...
Так. На північний
Got to be
схід.
scared. It's people they should fear. Flesh and blood.
Foolish girl and her pre-principles. She's got no idea who she's being.
Так. Куди ти ті? Що ти візьмеш?
Listen to what the idiot had to say first.
Hmm.
You again. What do you want?
Ну, давай
Tell me about the man you killed, Booth. What happened?
One of us had been killed, so we had to retaliate. That's the whole story.
There has to be more to it than that.
No, really, one of us got killed, so the killer had to die. That's how things have always been done round here. No one gives a shit.
Are you so heartless that you could pull the trigger and kill someone without even blinking?
Have you looked around recently? Do you really think one more body will make a difference?
Do you know Edwina suspects you to be unfaithful?
Edwina's the one who asked to be called Mrs. Cox, even though Clay hadn't touched her for such a long time.
You have not answered my question.
She's a passionate woman. I've no doubt she'll shoot me down if I ever betray her, but that's not going to happen. I love her as she is.
Окей.
I know you're looking for an honest job, Booth. You're tired of this criminal life, aren't you?
It's just an idea. Edwina loves to run things so much. You can never really leave the gang. Wet boys for life, you know.
І тепер його навіть трошки шкода, але тільки
Goodbye,
трошки.
Mr. Digby.
Не так, щоб дуже. Сюди я йду тут. Тут ніц нема, і я навіть туди застрибнути не можу, хоча теоретично могла би. Хорошо. На північний схід. Схід є, північний. Шістнадцять, 14, ну, так собі звісно. А, чекайте, я ж ходила повз цих чоловіків.
There's safer places to be than here. Stop right there's one of them. Watch yourselves.
Падло, на тобі. Ус. Ось. Ух ти. Туп. Здохни, здохни. Ой, 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 ой. А чо? Так. Я щось не пойму. Цікаво тільки, чого в мене не працював виворот? Але я тут проходила, це мене радує трохи. А, чекайте, це ж там же де аптека. Да? Може, я тут можу якось обережненько пройти? Ні. Ладно. Я краще додому посплю, це все. Дванадцять, 10 і 11. А ви мене так просто не цей. Добрий доктор Айболіт казали мені. А все? Закінчились. Так. А в тебе тут щось теж лежало, да? Хорошо. Хорошо. Ага, я принаймні... Так, тепер мені просто на північ. Просто північ у нас тут. Блін, тут виявляється така складна навігація. О, я тут була, ні? Що це? Це де? А, це я допоможу пройти чи... О, перейдіть. О, 11-й? А за тебе доходить експорт, напевно. За них не? А, дають 5. Шикарно. А голова дуже виївна. Блін, ну як це за тебе дають тільки 5 експорт? Ладно, що пробуєш. Ну, і тобі привіт. Палицю заховай, ти ж на роботу йдеш. Фі. Фу, треба йому про дружину розказати.
Hey, Doc.
А я не можу, да? Да.
I'll leave you for now, Mr. Cox.
Ну, можу йому, не треба про це знати. Також що засмутиться, негарно якось буде. Правда? Ульо. Слышиш, а як я мета? О, а чого вони всі захворіли? Ну, блін. Я ж всіх не вилікую. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ого. Сім ліків від втоми. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. Ой-ой. Треба ж всім пороздавати. Та ж бляха. Ти здоровий? Ні, давайте я буду дивитись по цьому. Сванзі здоровий. Що?
Good evening, Miss Howcroft. How are you tonight?
I need blood, Doctor. Warm, rich, vibrant blood.
Okay.
Tell me, Thelma, what do you really know about vampires?
I saw one and he saw me. I watched him hunt and kill. I saw his terrible wounds heal as his victim died. And then I knew I was saved.
You mean you actually saw a vampire? Here in London?
Yes. And it has been the answer to my pain. I must drink and kill to regenerate my decaying body. I am a vampire too.
No. You are deluded. You think you crave blood, but you have no physical need for it. You have no idea what that is like.
But what am I feeling? It cannot only be in my head. I know my flesh is rotting. I feel it. It disgusts me.
Ти не уявляєш, наскільки потужним може бути мозок.
Tell me, Thelma, why do you feel so attached to Mr. Elwood? Why him?
I'm not sure, Doctor. I think we have a bond of some sort. We've both suffered so much. He's the only mortal I find interesting.
Вона закохалася.
Do you plan to make him a vampire too?
Of course not. How could I inflict my curse on anybody else? I'm not that cruel, Doctor.
Would you say you and Mr. Elwood are romantically involved?
No. No, Thomas is a delicate soul. Even though he disguises it. But I am not the woman he needs. No, for I am a vampire, Doctor.
Да, ти здорова.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
Ну, ти ж ти підіграєш. А де всі? А чо? Вони тут лежали. Чо? Це незакінчений лист. Він пише своїм дітям, щоб вони сходили до Роберта Чедвіка. Чедвік – це незнайоме ім'я. Щоб він їм там допоміг з їжею or whatever. Звідки телефон дзвонить? Чого я не можу взяти телефон? Ладно. Давай лікувати тебе.
Good evening, Mr. Fiddick.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Any news about my operation?
Який оперейшн? Я просто тебе з'їм. Або ні.
You seem worried about the safety of your family. And it's obviously the reason why your wound troubles you so much.
I cannot give up on my children now. They both need me living.
What about their mother, if I may ask?
She died in 1915 during one of the first Zeppelin raids. We never found her body.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later. Good evening, Mr. Fiddick.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Any news about my operation?
No.
Is there anything else that's bothering you? Can I help in any way?
Really? Why has no one else asked me that since I got here? I thought I was in a hospital.
Unfortunately, you are not the only person who needs help. And complaining about it won't do you any good.
Well, perhaps you're right, Dr. Reed. I'm sure if me missus was still alive, she wouldn't be happy with me going on like this.
Ну, типу.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
Oh, sweet girl. Reads me like a book.
А у вас що?
Good evening, Doctor.
Блін.
How is my son doing?
Ти захворіла.
Do you require medical attention as well, Mrs. Goswick?
Do you know you're the only one who's asked me this? No, I don't feel well, actually.
Despite what you think about this place, I can tell you with absolute certainty, taking this will help you recover.
Мені
Well,
так
at least your
подобається.
reputation seems well deserved. Unfortunately, I can't say the same for this hospital.
Мені так подобається, що він застосовує свої вампірські здатності і переконання, щоб змусити людей випити ліки.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
Так, а пацан що?
Good evening, Mr. Goswick. How are you?
I'm okay.
Окей. Помирає.
I have to go now, sir. But don't hesitate to contact me if you need any help.
I'm alright. Don't waste your time with me.
Ж тільки що була купа народу. Як їх лікувати, якщо вони, бігають? Лікувати. А, я ж можу так робити. Точно.
Time has lost
Good
its
evening,
effect
Mr.
on me.
Elwood.
Evening, Dr. Reed.
Why do you feel responsible for the injury, Thomas? What really happened?
I wasn't disfigured by any German shells. It happened during my leave. It was an accident.
Why lie about it?
Come on. It's one thing to come back disfigured by the Germans, and it's another to get injured in an accident that could have happened to anybody.
Я не все поняла. Окей.
Beauty is not everything, Mr. Elwood.
Says Mr. Pretty Face.
Клін.
Tell me what really happened then.
I went with a whore in Rouen. Dead drunk I was. The hotel was a shithole. There was a fire that night.
Did you start the fire? Were you trying to avoid going back to the front? That's not uncommon, you know.
No. It's just that I was asleep when the flames reached the room. The girl was long gone. Bitch never woke me up. Left me to burn.
Ні, я, напевно, теж соромилась.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
Блін, я його не полікувала.
But the suffering
Good evening, Mr. Elwood.
Evening, Dr. Reed.
Soldier, do you need assistance?
Not really. I think I caught something in this bloody hospital. I swear I'm dead, yet smiling inside, Dr. Reed.
As long as you remain here, I will make sure you don't have to worry about your health.
Don't think you can do much about it. Damage is done.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
О. Ні, не чекай.
I'm quite busy right now, Dr. Reed.
Do you need my assistance?
Don't be ridiculous. I'm capable of dealing with this myself. I've just not taken the time to do so.
Then you are lucky that I have taken the time to do so. Consider it a gesture of solidarity between professionals.
I wish this hospital could have received as much attention from you, Dr. Reed. We do not see you in surgery very often.
Боже, да хорош наїжджать на мене, слухай.
What do you think of Dr. Tippett's opinion of your promotion, Waverley?
Tippett is a good practitioner. Maybe just a little too attached to his prestigious position at the Pembroke Hospital.
Really? That's exactly his diagnosis of you. A little too eager to get promoted? A little bit too proud?
He has the right to think so. But I deserve this promotion. And I don't consider it anything but well earned.
Okay.
Thank you for your time. We'll talk later.
Поїш. О.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Such a pleasure to see you again.
Да.
Do you need medical attention?
Well, the proximity of the dead is not the most healthy company, even if the quiet can be appreciated.
Тобто ти таки від трупа щось підхопив.
Don't take too many risks with your health, Mr. Chidana. None of us are immune to this disease.
And that is a good thing. Death and disease is a constant reminder of our mortality. But you have my thanks, Dr. Reed.
Що? Ой, мені посічівку дали. Heal 10 citizens. Ну, хорошо. Кого лишилось? Мільтона, Кіпрена і... Сольдей не можу полікувати.
Tell me the truth about your appointment as a medic during the war, Rakesh.
The regiment administration appointed me by mistake. I had to learn the job on the spot, sir.
Блін.
Very hard, sir. But I rose to the challenge.
Блін. Стратегія кинь в воду, хай навчиться плавати, доведена просто до абсолюту.
You can't impersonate a doctor. You can't improvise a medical education. People could die at your hands.
You're
Думаю, що вони і
absolutely right, sir.
помирали.
But as a field surgeon, it was more like being a butcher.
Do you believe
Ти моє
you have
сонечко.
really helped these people?
My ratings were within the averages of the regiment. I saved lives, Dr. Reed. Does that not say enough about triage and war surgery?
Do you realize how many soldiers died because of that decision? You should have refused.
Yes, sir. I swear I did, sir. But no one listened. When the first wounded arrived, I had to do what I could.
It is an unbelievable story, Mr. Chidana.
It was a time beyond belief, Dr. Reed. But I'm happy not to deal with the wounded. I prefer caring for the dead now.
Такий милий чоловічок. Ага, я вже полікувала. Хорошо.
Goodbye,
Да,
Mr.
до
Chidana.
побачення.
Never ceases to amaze me how you, the dead, seem peaceful and lost at the same time.
Кого я там ще? Це ці хлопці, які слідкували за Тельмою. Що? Ага, це те тіло в наметі. О, привіт. Добре, що я тебе зустріла.
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
Спочатку
Do you
лікуємо,
require
потім
medical
говоримо.
assistance, nurse?
I will be fine as soon as I can get some sleep.
Nurse, you won't be able to help people if you're sick. Take this, and do try to get some rest.
I'll try, Dr. Reed. Thank you.
Тут я вже все говорила, і тут я вже все говорила. До
Goodbye,
побачення.
nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
Це от замість того, щоб піти спати, я ходжу і роздаю людям зіллячка.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
Да, в тому числі і твоє життя я теж намагаюся
Do you need any medical help, Milton?
I'm
врятувати.
afraid I do. Like everyone in this hospital. It's a sad state of affairs when even the hospital workers are worried about disease.
Our job brings us into contact with all kinds of infections, Milton. There's no shame in being ill while you're in a hospital.
That's easy for you to say, Doctor. I get the feeling you don't fall sick often. Well, thanks, anyway.
Да, я не дуже часто хворію.
I'd
Ти
like to
вгадав.
see your goods.
Wise choice, Dr. Reed. A reliable gun is what everybody needs these days.
Да, до побачення. Освальда лишилося, да? Да. А. Освальда болить голова, і я це не можу ще лікувати. А тут теж всі відновлюються. І... А тут... А це West End. А я тут не знаю нікого, да? Ну і ладно. Все, тепер можна спати. Я сподіваюсь, що вже можна. Що ще скрафтити? Та ні.
The flower's dying.
Якого
It needs
забули?
water.
Схожий на батька Раджеша Кутрапалі. Я не пам'ятаю, як виглядав батько Раджеша Кутрапалі, але... Ну, вони якби обидва індуси. Я не знаю, наскільки це робить їх схожим. Я відкрила Ultimate. А, я хотіла цю штуку качати, а на неї треба 1000 XP. А в мене тільки 700. Добре. То я типу не буду спати. А що я буду робити? Так, що в мене з квестом? Reach White Chapel. А з інвестігейшенами в мене... Ага, приблизно туди ж. І в аптеку... А в аптеку мені ще було рано. Save Old Man. Та ці штуки теж були люті. Блін. Давайте спробуємо дойти до цієї білої церкви. Я не знаю.
Never seen so many people dying at the same time.
Як мені туди дійти? А, там був місто. Окей. Да? Ага. І типу наліво. Смітничок. Disease статус Sirius. Щось мені це не подобається. От взагалі. Вісімнадцятий. Йобаний. Ну, звісно. Собі ідея. Ага, я сюди все ж ще прямо. Мені здається, там кудись відходив потім. Це схованка. Це схоже на схованку. Так, гроші я візьму, дякую. А, і тут 12. А я на тебе встигну напасти чи ні? Да! Клас. Клас. що за граната? А за тебе дадуть 15. А, можна просто не дуже маленьких брати. Окей. Що ти сюди стукав? Тут ж нічого нема. Ой, не подобаються ці звуки, якщо чесно. Да мені сюди. Сюди, да? Да. 10-й і криски. Ну, з крисками жити якось можна. Да?
I have this thirst for blood.
Це ж твої друзі. Ну, ні, то ні.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
Так. Рівень, але маленький. О, рівень руки. Блин. Що ось так багато? Так. 50-й. Я думаю, що я маю з ними впоратися. Да? А ти давай не обертайся, от так і стій, да? Так, хороший хлопчик. О! Клас! Боже, а що у вас так багато? Роджер the Wolf. Хорошо. Дякую, що ти закінчився. Хорошо. Тут нічого немає, там зачинено. Я що сюди прийшла? За грошиками. Куди лежачи за грошиками? Сюди, да? А, це мостик, де вони стояли, і перш. Зараз тут знову якийсь бос буде, да? Тому що не можеш бути просто все.
Whitechapel. This neighborhood is linked somehow to the kind Lady Ashbury's blackmail. First, let's find this Petrescu fellow.
В них там срібні кулі заряджені. Я не знаю, які в них там кулі заряджені, але цей от Зевол був якийсь дуже товстий і дуже неприємно було його валити. Плакати, так, ці всі плакати я вже бачила. Що, куди? Ой-ой. Хайдаут. Де хайдаут? Ага, направо і направо. Схоже, що інше направо. Але я знайшла якісь пігулки. Ну і добре. Бенджамін. Хто такий Бенджамін? Я думаю, що це не він. Ой. Чу. А, ви типу думаєте, мені сюди? Ні, я хочу... А, мені не треба виглядати, бо я спати ж сильно не можу зараз. То ви вважаєте, що мені сюди? Ну? Я розумію вашу логіку.
Me? I'll not die in some piss-stinking alley reeking worse than a week-old lavvy.
Ладно, давайте
The bastard at
знайомитись.
the wall next to me. I don't even know if he meant to miss.
If you've been hurt, I can help you. I'm a doctor.
Name's Albert. Remember it. Now bugger off.
What happened? Did you really steal that man's medication?
Hey, I didn't do anything. It ain't me.
All right. Perhaps the poor drunk just confused you with someone else.
Sod off, mister. You ain't got no clue what's going on here. Bastard was a soldier in the war, so now he's got the right to shoot me.
It's true. I'm not familiar with this part of town. Perhaps you could help me.
I said sod off. Go find yourself another guide.
Я хочу навчитися колись поводитися як Джонатан. Там, де мене букують, я така, да, я нічого не знаю, допоможіть мені, будь ласка.
Goodbye, young man.
Окей.
Another drunk arsehole littering the streets.
Окей, не буду казати, на що я дійсно в цьому районі. Привіт.
What? Shooting a boy in the middle of the street. Not the best thing to do, wouldn't you say?
What? You saw what happened? Who are you?
I'm Dr.
I'm a
Reed,
doctor.
and I'd like to ask you a few questions, if you promise me to set your gun aside.
No. Look, I'm not a violent man. I'm Benjamin Palmer, doctor.
І ще один доктор.
And no one can help me. Not even you.
Звісно. Ніхто тобі не може допомогти. Ні, ну якщо в тебе мігрень, то напевно так. Цікаво тільки, чому вони вважають, що є ліки від мігрені.
What can you tell me about this place?
Nothing to say, really. This is where I used to live, and this is where I live now.
You don't have anywhere to go? No family that would welcome you?
Not since the death of my wife, Albert's mother. She was sick, you see. Long before the flu and all this shit.
Це його син. Це його син. Ого.
You mean you used to have a better life?
Yeah, I had a wife, a home, and a job. I even used to have a name. And now I'm just Ben. Ben the Tramp.
Perhaps you could focus for a moment and tell me your troubles.
I'm sick, broke, and my son just stole my pills. Everything's coming up roses.
Whatever the boy did, I'm sure he didn't deserve a public execution.
I swear I didn't want to hit him. It's just that I'm sick in the head, you see, and the boy just failed me last nerve.
Oh.
What is it, Benjamin? It was the war, wasn't it? Your nerves are shot, aren't they? I need some answers, Private. From one soldier to another.
The doctors called me a liar, a coward. Put me in a straitjacket, locked me up. Finally, they sent me back to the front lines with a handful of tablets.
It's a pity that doctors still practice such barbaric methods. It's a dishonor to our profession.
Now only the pills stop me thinking about this shit. To not hear the explosions. I'm even scared of the dark these days.
Oh.
A gun, alcohol, and a bad temper make a terrible cocktail, sir. Goodbye for now.
I won't end up another drunk arsehole littering the streets. Not me.
Що тут то? Шурі. Хорошо. А тут?
Its effectiveness has been proven by many. Even the flu is no match for the Swanborough cordial.
А чого вона так гарно вдягнена?
Good evening, miss.
Good evening, sir. Are you interested in a miraculous cure for this unknown and deadly epidemic?
Давай, покажи мені.
I am.
Then you have come to the right place. The famous Swanborough cordial is all you need to help keep you in perfect health.
Oh, really?
Cordial.
Why didn't I hear about it during my studies? I'm Jonathan Reed, by the way. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Ah, my brother has spoken of your research, sir. I'm Loretta Swanborough, and it's always a pleasure to meet a fellow healer.
Tell me, who intrigues you most in Whitechapel?
The region itself is something to see, but I would say Camellia the mute florist who gives away her flowers.
Камелія. Може вона знає шрифт Брайля, якщо вона не вміє говорити.
What do you think of the locals?
Most of them are afraid or desperate. They all come to me eventually for my remedy.
Is there anyone I should avoid?
Cadogan Bates, without a doubt. The bloody bastard remorselessly exploits poor migrants as soon as they get here.
Ого. Хорошо. Кедиган, чи як його? Що в тебе є?
I'd like to see what kind of medicine you're selling.
Розберу, подивлюся, що там. Окей. План збору з медісі. Мені на північ. Але ж треба полазити по всяким місцинкам. Ота, правда? О, якийсь незнайомий чоловік. Як кажуть в Твіттері, чоловік під псевдо. Так, я ж сподіваюся, що тут вже ніяких сюрпризів не буде. Ахаха, звісно, ні.
What do you want? Leave me alone.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I'm looking for Nurse Dorothy Crane.
There is no Dorothy Crane here. Now goodbye.
I'm afraid this medical leaflet says the opposite, sir.
Really? Well, I'm afraid I'm going to close this door right now. Go bother someone else, Mr. Doctor.
To enter that house, I must discover who this man really is. Maybe I could start by observing what he's up to.
Так, шпигувати, шпигувати. Чи я є в Твіттері? Ні, мене немає в Твіттері, але я начитана дуже і меми читаю. А йо-моє, а як мені туди дійти? Інтересно.
I will return later.
Треба якось обійти. Напевно. Але я не дуже розумію поки що як. Може, якщо просто йти по периметру, то я ж рано чи пізно десь вийду. Правда? Так, там щирі. Тут трупак. Тут...
It's locked, all right.
Тут зачинені двері. Що ж мені робити? Може, я хотів попитаю про медсестру?
Can I help you?
I'm afraid not, Mr. Reed.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? Have you heard anything?
It's funny, I've been searching for her too. I need some pills. But the woman is a phantom, if you ask me.
Really? And why is that?
Word is she ain't real. She's a cover for some doctor who runs an illegal dispensary for migrants.
A gun, alcohol, and a bad temper.
Ой.
Terrible.
А ти мені що скажеш про медсестру?
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? If you know anything about her, I'd appreciate it.
Never heard of her. She's pretty, I'll keep an eye out.
Понятно.
Goodbye, young man.
I'll not die in some piss-stinking alley reeking worse than a week-old lavvy.
Трупак. О. Ну так, давайте, щоб мені легше стало дуже. Окей. А, чекайте, я ж тут вже була. Я ж тут вже ходила. А тут у нас що? Тільки зовсім не туди вже йду, да? А, стоп, 8 рівень, боже. А, люди тоді, а. Ти ж, напевно, не один, да? Ну, а що вас, блін, 4? Четверо було, да? 1, 2, 3. Де 4-й гаманець? І тут теж зачинено. Та що ж? І тут теж не справжні ворота. І тут зачинено. Може мені просто треба почекати біля будинку? Головне так весело перед цим кричав, що боже, боже, це ж антисанітарія, а сам по смітникам шариться. Чекайте, а там же вже... І як ви пропонуєте мені за ним слідкувати? Так, хтось щось розуміє? Що ти там робиш? Ну він стукає десь в будинок. Молодець. Так. Комендантська година. Окей. Ага, типу тут можна дійти сюди і потім якось аж так. Давайте попробуємо. Сюди типу, ну от я сюди дійшла. А, блін, так я тут ходила, так тут теж зачинено. Тут ще й типу ворота не справжні. Чи в мене всі ігри такі темні і страшні? Ні, тільки останні дві. Бо перед цим я грала в Be Happy Few, але я це не стрімила. Але вона класна. Я не можу сказати, що вона прям страшна. Там ніяких скрімерів і ніяких упорів немає. Там просто про людей і про те, що люди вміють робити і що вони іноді роблять зі своїми емоціями, зі своєю пам'яттю. І як вони приймають або не приймають власні рішення. Ти звідки мені за тобою шпіонити? Може, вона щось знає.
Good evening, my dear colleague.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like to talk about competition.
Competition, you say?
Never met her, but it seems she provides some sort of medical care to the poor. The whole thing has to be some sort of scam, if you ask me.
На відміну, звісно ж, від твого зіллячка, да?
Goodbye, Miss Swanborough.
Люди постійно посміхались в трейлері, вона страшна.
When science fails you, this elixir will give you faith again.
Вона своєрідна, але вона... Ну як, вона по-іншому страшна, не так, як тут ці упиряки. Ну тут же буквально типу немає більше куди піти. Бронхіт, мігрень і втома. Окей, давайте підемо шукати ничку. Бо я хочу розібрати її зілля. О, тут собі просто, да? Ой, здається, це не... А може і схованка. Ага, давайте тоді проти годинникової йти. Трупак. Мені подобається цей район. У всіх трупаків є пачка цигарок і каблучка. Так. Так. Шаша блискуче, шафа блискуче. Ну, майже. І ще трупак. Свічки якісь переставлені. Це культисти якісь чи що? Чуваки, ви мене напрягаєте. Я дуже сумніваюся, що тут є хтось живий. Ну, ні, це таки хайдало. Це ж мені обіцяли, що це безпечне місце, да? Я тут можу вже заспокоїтись. Угу. Так, це на вулицю, це спати. А я хочу не спати, я хочу крафтити. Я не можу розібрати на блупринти. А, я можу так розібрати і дістати просто баночку. От пігулки розберемо. Пігулки теж розберемо. Окей. Чим я ходжу з цією штукою? Можу тебе Я можу проапгрейдити, ну я типу це намагаюся зробити. Покращена зброя буде наносити більше дамагу, і в мене з'являться customization слоти. Ну, окей. Так от же є в мене вже. Я ж вибрала. А до 3-го рівня. Я можу тебе покращити до 3-го рівня. І ти будеш наносити іще. Да, мені подобається. Ага, це тут буде іще 3 або decrease stamina consumption. Да, я думаю, що stamina consumption мені подобається. А для 4-го рівня мені треба ручку. Окей. То може я поки тут є ще й ліки їм пороблю. Що там кому треба? Мігрень і втома. Я не знаю ліків від мігрені. Вибач мене, будь-що. Я, напевно, просто зараз накрафчу ліків, щоб вони були з собою. Ні, я тут поки не буду ходити. А тут вийду. О, може мені... Може мені сюди? Тут тільки що є. Ні, схоже, що туди я не долізу. Ну, окей. Привіт, хлопці.
Look the other way this week, Joe. Come on, we can sort it out, right? It's not my call, Barrett. You pay one way or another. Please, Joe. How long have we known each other? We even used to be neighbours, for Christ's sake. I'd prefer not to give you another beating, Barrett. I know it's hard to believe, but this district has always been wretched. Now let your guard down, sir.
Куди, кучер?
Welcome, sir. Please, take a browse of my wares.
I am Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind.
Doctor? Interesting. I'm Barrett Lewis. Usually I don't have time to waste with talk, but at this hour of the night I can hardly refuse.
І ще один торговець. Хоча б здоровий.
How is business around here?
Business? I have no business. Between this racket, theft, and customers getting scared, I'm losing money every day.
I see. Sounds like you blame someone in particular for your situation.
It's no secret Joe Peterson spends his time harassing merchants. But with me, he's trying to put me out of business once and for all.
As a merchant, you see Whitechapel every day. Have you noticed anything out of the ordinary recently?
What you mean besides the epidemic, the war, and all the usual crap? As long as I can remember, this part of town has been a bottomless pit, and no sign of the bottom yet.
Violence is increasing in the borough.
Yeah. A few nights ago, some blokes jumped me. Came out of one of the condemned workshops. Fever, madness, something like that.
Where did this happen? Why did you go there?
In the closed workshops nearby. I worked there as an apprentice in better days. Now I only go to find trinkets or tools. Too bad I was mugged, though. There was good money in that little box of loot I lost.
Have you been hurt?
No, but that's only because I ran like hell. Those men were raving lunatics, I tell you. Not even able to speak anymore, just screaming.
Have you heard of a nurse called Dorothy Crane?
Nurse Crane? So the bitch really is a nurse, then?
Здається, чув.
Always thought she was just some crafty foreigner, that one.
So she's trying to help her fellow immigrants. Why would that make her a villain?
Dorothy Crane ain't even a real name. Something like Dorothea Craniu. Something like that. Came to England fleeing the war, I was told.
That doesn't explain why she irritates you so much.
Your precious Nurse Crane gives away medical supplies and prescriptions for free. I offered to sell it for a fair cut, but no. Miss Crane wanted to play the quiet saint.
Right then. Show me what you have.
Ладно, до побачення.
Cheap price, good quality. Come on, take a look. Don't be afraid.
Треба поговорити з цим хлопцем.
Cheap price, good quality.
Але хай він закінчить спочатку.
Take a look. Don't be afraid.
Ну, ти довго пісять будеш?
I should never have taken up my father's business.
Excuse me, sir. I have a few questions for you.
Another journalist? I didn't answer the first one, so piss off.
I'm not a journalist, I'm a doctor.
A doctor, you say? It's quite a rare breed in this part of town.
Really? But still, here I am. Dr. Jonathan Reed, at your service.
I'm Joe Peterson's son, but Colossus Joe to most. And I don't remember asking for your service, sir.
According to you, physicians are scarce in this part of town. Why is that?
Not familiar with this neighborhood, are you? I guess your fancy colleagues are too afraid of being stabbed in the back.
This part of town does have quite a reputation. Would you say it's justified?
Totally. Look at me, for instance. I always look my opponent in the eye before knocking him out.
Ще й поклонився мені. Спасибо.
May I ask what you do around here?
I do whatever I want, and sometimes even more. Now sod off.
How did you become the local bully everyone is afraid of, Joe?
There's no pride in roughing up poor bastards. But this is the only job I've found. And it pays well, too.
A job? So you're racketeering for someone else?
I got enlisted by the Wet Boot Boys, a gang from the docks. I'm their muscle for their dirty work.
You survive at any cost, even at the expense of others. Perhaps that's just the law of nature.
I don't care what you think, sir. I do what I have to do for my own reasons, and that's that.
I'm not sure Mr. Lewis would agree with your by all means necessary philosophy.
Oh, do you really think he's the poor victim here? Barrett can be as sneaky as anyone. Long ago, I even called the bastard my best friend.
О. А чого ви більше не можете? А можна я спитаю? Не можна.
Have you heard of a nurse named Dorothy Crane? She's a colleague of mine and is supposed to live around here.
Dorothy Crane? Yeah, I know her. One of the few good souls who dare to help the sick around here.
Could you please tell me more about her?
She's a nice girl. Tries to help the migrants. I offered to give her a hand, but she said my reputation would attract too much attention.
Так, тут я все спитала, і тут я нічого не можу
Goodbye,
спитати.
Mr. Peterson.
А, і от я знову в тому ж. Як мені сюди залізти?
Joe, please, I don't have your money. Come on, Barrett, again, you pay for peace of mind.
О, це с-
For there is no protection against malevolence and trickery.
Дід кричить в небо. Привіт.
Forgive my interruption.
Do not apologize, my son. Father Tobias Whitaker is always happy to teach mortals about the incoming Armageddon.
I am Dr. Jonathan Reed, and I just have a few questions.
Люблю, коли мене називають смертним.
You are much more lost than I thought, my son.
Можна я його не буду лікувати, якщо він захворіє?
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world of causes and consequences, and most of them can't see the plain truth.
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But what do I know?
Я ж тупий науковець.
But you are seeking answers, aren't you? Answers about the Armageddon about to strike the city. Answers about the hidden truth.
Ладно, розкажи мені, кризанутий дід.
Well, I suppose I can spare a few minutes listening to your so-called truth.
As a doctor, you must be aware of the decimating epidemic. But let me tell you that this so-called Spanish flu is just the beginning of the end.
What do you mean?
The beast is finally revealing itself, corrupting the flesh and the heart of men. With my own eyes I have seen them, those minions from the abyss.
Вампіра бачив? Чи що?
Really? And what would be your answer to this biblical threat?
We must fight the disease before this legion outnumbers us. But not with scalpels and microscopes. No.
What is left then?
Cleansing fire.
Він...
Tell me, Tobias, what exactly is your plan concerning the cleansing of this city?
God will recognize his own. More than once this city has risen from the ashes, hardened and purified by the flames.
Purification by fire has proved useful, but where do you stop? Burn the clothes? The buildings? The corpses? Worse?
Your lack of faith is predictable. But my task is to convince rational minds like yours to see the light. This is God's will.
You're mad and dangerous. You're nothing but a soulless butcher. A small-time Torquemada. The Savonarola of Whitechapel.
My son, if you think salvation is a free gift, go listen to the lies of that pompous fool, Joseph.
Joseph?
Joseph?
Vicar Larrabee of St. Mary's Church. While he continues preaching his fraudulent redemption, more and more people die in the streets.
What do you mean?
От, у нас тут ще і рядові з'явилися.
All scientists are entangled.
Quite a judgmental
But
approach.
you are sick.
Well,
As a doctor,
what do you mean?
the beast.
Really?
We must
What is left?
Cleansing.
Cleansing fire, хорошо.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like the liberal ideas of nurses, but I especially abhor that Nurse Crane you mentioned.
Що значить liberal ideas of nurses?
So, you're not exactly a fan of Florence Nightingale's work. But nurses are essential for modern healthcare.
Nuns should be the only women allowed to take care of male patients.
О
It's
боже.
obvious only they have the necessary moral fiber.
Тому що... Що? Всі інші жінки одразу кинуться дрочити пацієнтам-чоловікам, чи що?
Why do you hate Nurse Crane more than other nurses?
Before coming to London, she was a member of the communist resistance in her country. That's what happens when you let a woman get involved in politics.
Можна я його вкушу?
Have you any friends? Any family left in these terrible times?
No. But I have a disciple I see as my son. He is so devoted. I sent him to preach the good word in the heart of this corrupted city.
Це я вгадаю, що он, да?
Where did you send him?
I sent Samuel to
No, I
the
knew.
Stonebridge Cemetery, where the pestilence and evil grows night after night.
You sent him on some preaching crusade during the epidemic.
As a true believer, Samuel will fear no evil while he walks through the valley of the shadow of death.
I have heard
Yeah,
enough
pretty
for
sweet.
tonight. Goodbye.
Але так я вгадаю, мені це не допоможе, да? Плакати про чому? Це якийсь привид був. Ну, що ж. Дуже шкода, дуже. А, це не справжній вороток. Що він ворота? Це справжній вороток. Куди? Ой, він на камбербечу схожий. Ага. Здається, мені треба туди в двері зайти, щоб з ним поговорити. Да? Це кладовище. Це кладовище. Привіт. А, це цей Семіон,
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions.
Please be my guest. Although I may not be the best informant regarding this part of town, my words speak about that which the eyes cannot see.
Really? Are you an artist of some kind?
I'm a poet, sir. Richard Nethercott, at your service.
Ты умеешь правила читать? Ну, как умеешь?
May I ask what you're doing at this hour of night, sir? Do you live here?
Not at all. I'm just enjoying the pleasure of a quiet walk. Though night talks are always preferable, if you ask me. Especially with strangers.
But are you not afraid of the epidemic?
Oh, why should I? I see some equity in the Spanish flu. No flesh should be saved, say the scriptures. Good or evil, rich or poor, all are equal in the eyes of the flu.
If you say so. But as a physician in a time of epidemic, I must caution you to avoid unnecessary exposure, sir.
Thank you, Doctor. But we both know the seeker of truth has to go boldly where the weak dare not.
What are your thoughts on the terrible situation in this city?
Terrible, you say? No. Of course, the death of so many innocents is a tragedy. But the scourge has not been all bad for the city. Oh, no, sir.
What are you talking about?
Do you remember London before the flu? Noisy, cacophonic, quiet nowhere to be found. And now, listen to this oddly peaceful silence.
Неочікуваний поворот.
Yes. The enjoyable silence of the grave. You have a unique perspective on the situation, I must admit.
Most people fail to understand my perspective. I don't blame them. But how could I call myself a poet if I veiled my feelings?
Are you aware that your life could be in danger in this part of town?
But this is where I must be to feel the real beat of the city. I had to come, see it for myself, alone.
I understand your need for solitude, but it's not safe around here.
I don't care. I don't have many friends, Doctor, and my family despises me.
If some misfortune came upon you, who would be here to help you?
Well, you for a start, my dear Doctor.
Блин, я ж не читала. Я ж просто вгадываю.
Tell me, Mr. Nethercott, why seek inspiration in Whitechapel?
The place is not beautiful per se, but how to explain it? Stirring and challenging.
Do you not think it a little morbid?
On the contrary, sir. Whitechapel is full of life, full of beauty. Just like my dear muse, the wonderful Camellia.
What can you tell me about Camellia?
Not much. And that's the beauty of it. She can't speak, you know. She's a locked mystery who exhales kindness and sweetness.
Ого.
Perhaps you're just afraid to find out the truth about your muse.
One day, perhaps, I'll ask her to come with me. But will she still be my wild flower of Whitechapel if she moves uptown?
And have you ever tried to learn more about her? Where she lives? How she survives? Whom she may know?
Maybe I prefer she remains an enigma. Reality can be so dull, don't you think?
In what way, exactly?
The struggle by gaslight, the barren smiles and the added hunger under the rain.
If you say so.
Such vibrant antagonism and vivid paradox. The stripped humanity raged across each street.
Vivid, of course, yes. And what about the poignant distress?
Oh yes, the poignant distress. You see what I mean, don't you? That's what I want to write about, and that's what Whitechapel is made of.
Do you need medical attention, sir?
It may be wise to let you prescribe me something. I don't feel like I should.
I understand your appetite for words and macabre beauty, sir. But you should be more careful.
The nutrition of my mind is more important than my physical health. But I appreciate your concern, sir.
I'll leave you alone, sir.
Як тобі сказати, хлопче, ти якщо не будеш турбуватися про своє фізичне здоров'я, твоєму майнду буде, в принципі, вже посрать. Ай, так це робиться, да? Ага, йому якийсь редактор відмовив друкувати збірку віршів пісні переможеного міста. Тому що ніхто не хоче читати сумні вірші. Окей. Ніхто не хоче читати сумні вірші. Я взагалі не наблизилась до цього. Що? Камелія. Цікаво, як я з нею буду говорити. Треба піду попробувати. Що? Ага. Це був оцей медичний ваучер, який захований в горшечку з квітками. Я ж поки не дуже хочу відкривати ці ворота. Вітаю, пані Камелія.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed. I'd like to ask you a few questions. I know what you're thinking. A tall stranger who meets a girl in the street at night. It reeks of the penny dreadfuls. But I mean you no harm, truly. I know you understand what I'm saying. Your silence has nothing to do with you being mute, does it?
Ходімо загриземо того редактора. Я не знаю, що це за редактор. Це просто якийсь редактор. Ні, давайте спочатку про цього дивного поета.
Tell me about Richard Nithercott. I understand he is quite fond of you, Camellia.
А, я про неї щось знаю. А, вона муза і вона розповсюджує ці штуки. Пацана ж треба полікувати. Ну ладно, давайте про медсестру.
Camellia, I know you work for Dorothy Crane. Please tell me about her secret dispensary. A stubborn and mute comrade. Nurse Crane and Darius Petrescu have been clever.
І от
Very well.
чого я добилася?
Goodbye then.
Може я можу за нею пошпигувати? Ні? Ну, окей. Ходімо загриземо будь-якого редактора. Всі редактори, яких я знаю, вони котикові сонечко, і я не хочу їх гризти. І ще один ваучер. Тут прям детектив такий серйозний розвивається. І що? О, там якийсь мужик. Треба піти познайомитись з мужиком. Так, я не розумію, чому я можу сюди застрибнути. Ну, тобто, не наша. Так, треба піти до мужика. Вітаю, що вікно дуже цікаве, да?
Excuse me, sir. Are you familiar with this part of town? Name's Clayton Darby, reporter.
Sorry, I'm
От
new
що
to
це за
Whitechapel.
журналіст.
But perhaps you could help me since you're a journalist. My name is Jonathan Reed.
Dr. Reed, the famous surgeon. I'll gladly help if I'm able, sir.
Why are the newspapers keeping silent about the Spanish influenza? It's as though none of you care.
There's a war going on. People shouldn't be demoralized by news of deadly diseases.
Просто будуть тихенько помирати. Але щасливі, але бездихові.
It's a disgrace. People are left to die alone. No one is properly informed of the risks.
These are bad times indeed. So much for the glorious British Empire.
Ну, типу.
What is a journalist doing in this borough after sunset?
He goes where none of his colleagues would dare to go, to inform the country.
То ти, типу, крутий журналіст, ну?
So you risk your life to reveal the truth. I saw many reporters do the same during the war.
Whitechapel is the crucible of so many untold stories and tragedies. I want people to know them.
Okay.
That's quite
Well,
honorable
there
of you.
I'll
But is
do
the
this.
public interested?
Not at all, sir. And that's why I'm an independent journalist, hoping to sell some stories.
Have you any idea of the danger you face in these streets at night?
I've had to run and hide more than once from frenzied mobs incensed by the fever. Do you think the flu is really responsible for this, Doctor?
Я думаю, що я буду обережною.
I must confess, some of my rational views have been shaken by recent events.
I'll remember to stay away from the district's roughest streets then.
Окей, він ще й розумний.
Goodbye, Mr. Darby. Farewell.
Поки що я можу... Але ж я не можу тут застрибнути. Реально, на що треба цей балкон? Опа, що за жіночка?
Don't be shy, handsome. What can Christina do for you?
I'm not looking for what you're selling, but I'd like to ask you a few questions, if I may. I'm a doctor, Dr. Reed.
All right then, but be quick, though I usually get paid when I open my mouth.
Christina, have you been examined? The epidemic is spreading fast in London, and you could be exposed, or expose others.
I don't like doctors or hospitals, but I don't like you asking questions.
Considering your line of work, I assure you it is only a matter of time before you have health issues.
If it is going to happen, it will happen. Right now, I need money. That's what's important.
Так от наша 1000 за вакцинацію продумала.
You can put your own life in danger, that's your decision. But what about your clients? If you're contaminated, you will put them in danger too.
And you think that would worry me? If you knew the men I deal with, their health would not be what you'd worry about.
Clayton Darby claims he will expose the crisis in Whitechapel to all of London. Do you believe him?
I believe Clayton's courage will erode with time, until he finally leaves Whitechapel to start another fight somewhere else.
Why this skepticism?
How can you speak about starvation if you've never been hungry? Or about poverty? Or anything else you have never suffered from?
Логично.
Are you talking from experience?
I've seen your type come here to get a good fuck in a cheap room or a dark alley before going back to their fancy houses in the West End.
Tell me about yourself.
Are you joking with me? People don't usually come to see me for conversation.
I have no interest in your work. I am, however, curious as to what led you into this career.
Short story. The war, exile, and England. This country is not especially welcoming. I've been refused many jobs because of where I am from. I had few options left.
I always thought I was the master of my own fate. But now I know we don't always have control over our lives. I don't judge you.
You know, this money is not only for me. I have good reasons to need this money quickly, but it is not your concern, Doctor.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? Anything you can tell me about her would be helpful.
I don't know her, but I know her name is Dorothea Crasionescu. She came from Romania like me and many others.
You seem to respect her.
Dorothea helps the sick people of Whitechapel. Everyone should respect that.
Do you need any assistance, Miss Popper?
It depends on the price of your medicine.
I am shocked that you would think I am that sort of man.
Forgive my suspicion. I'm so used to liars with good manners. Thank you, sir.
Goodbye, miss. Take care of yourself as best you can.
Питання лишається відкритим. Як мені прослідкувати за...
There's nobody here.
Треба було просто почекати. Блін.
A strange man was at the door with a pass for our medical facility. I refused him entry.
Darius, how could you know he didn't need our help?
His clothes were too finely tailored to be for Whitechapel.
Perhaps just a friend of that stray poet who is always about.
Richard Nithercott? No, not of the same cloth, this man. I suspect some machination from that journalist.
Clayton Darby. Is he still asking questions?
Yes. I saw him drifting around St. Mary's Church. I swear he is tracking me just downwind.
Hint. Right arm of Dorothy Gray.
I must talk to that journalist or the poet. They must know about Darius. Nearby the church they just mentioned.
Come on, Barrett, you know the game. You pay for peace of mind.
Frank Clayton. Hello.
Good evening, Doctor. Can I help you?
Я забула тебе полікувати.
Do you need assistance?
That would be nice of you, Doctor. Who knows what I may have caught during my investigation.
If you persist in investigating the most pox-ridden boroughs of London, you must accept the risks.
Thank you, sir.
А тепер у справах.
I heard you're investigating an underground medical dispensary in Whitechapel. What do you know about it?
Not much, I'm afraid. They are wary of strangers, and I'm not really an acquaintance of theirs. Why do you care?
I'm a doctor, Mr. Darby. I care about everything involving public health and this epidemic.
Are you sure you're not just concerned about the repercussions that a scandal involving a certain Nurse Crane from the Pembroke Hospital would bring?
Without a doubt, you are a damn fine journalist, Mr. Darby. What do you know of her accomplice, a man named Darius?
I don't know much about the man. He's very cautious, never goes out, doesn't seem to have any friends or family.
He has no relatives at all?
No, except for that strange man, a poet named Richard Nithercott, who sometimes comes by. Darius would never let him in.
Where can I find this Mr. Nithercott?
He spends most of his time lurking around Whitechapel, talking to himself or declaring verses. These days, you can usually find him behind the church.
Це його родич чи просто типу друзяк?
He never goes out. No. A few days ago, he unexpectedly did. I followed him, but it was just a ruse to keep me away from his house.
Really?
Oh.
How do you know?
He went to the nearest mailbox, but just before posting his letter, he ripped it up and threw it away.
Christina Popper claims she sells her body because she can't find any other work. Do you believe her?
Of course I do. Her story is exactly what I want my readers to understand. We live in an intolerant and divided nation.
Do you think things will ever change, Mr. Darby?
I believe the situation can only improve. And now that women can vote, I'm convinced things will change.
Який ти прогресивний. Ну, світ, правда, зміниться. Що я тобі скажу?
Goodbye, Mr. Darby. Farewell.
Я його полікувала. Find Richard. Ой. Щось я, здається, якимось не дуже оптимальним шляхом це обходжу, але вже що ж. О.
Good evening, Mr. Nethercott.
And good evening to you too.
Бла-бла-бла, я про тебе знаю майже все. Тут не було. О.
You don't really make a living from your scribblings, do you, Richard?
No, sir, I don't. I work so hard. I put all my time, my energy, my devotion into the precise carving of words.
When she was younger, my mother was a painter and a poet. She told me many times how poor her artist friends were. And how she helped.
My parents pay for my rent, my food, and my clothes. All I have to give them in return is lies they do not believe.
You seem embarrassed.
Someday I hope to proudly offer my first publication to my parents. Until that day, I'll remain the failure of a son they have to support.
Did you know the mute florist is a member of a secret society?
No, I didn't. But I thank you for this information, sir. For it only enriches the mystery surrounding the precious camellia.
Are you not curious? Is there not more you wish to know?
That girl has not an ounce of malice in her. Whatever she may be hiding, it's certain to be for the benefit of most, if not all.
I fear you are a hopeless romantic, Mr. Nethercott.
Guilty as charged, Dr. Reed.
Але може і добре, що він просто вірші пише і страждає.
May I ask you a few questions about the district?
Extraordinary part of town, is it not? I'll be glad to help you, if I can.
I'm looking for Dorothy Crane, a nurse who lives in this vicinity.
Dorothy Crane. Oh, I love the name. The Crane of Whitechapel. Sounds very mysterious. But, sorry, no, never heard of her.
What can you tell me about an old man called Darius?
Darius Petrescu? Yes, I know him. At first, I thought he was only a small publisher. I invited him to publish my work, but his reaction was pretty clear.
Not interested in your talent?
Darius is an old political activist who takes delight in printing tracts and lampoons. Those communist activities only require mediocre writing skills.
I'll leave you alone, sir.
Поштова скринька і смітник. Даріус пише своїм дітям, вибачається за те, що він довго не писав, але в Лондоні все дуже складно. Я знаю, що це може прозвучати дуже егоїстично і якось тупо, того, що ви живете в країні, охопленій війною, але в Англії теж війна. Війна з бідністю і з несправедливістю. І він буде боротися, незважаючи на свій поважний вік. І саме тому він пише, що він не повернеться в Румунію. І що він їх не побачить до смерті. Але ви не сумуйте, чудачки, тому що ви вже дорослі і у вас вже є свої діти. Бла-бла-бла-бла, щось скаже про вище добро, бла-бла-бла-бла.
The content of Darius' letter to his children could give me more leverage to enter.
Може бути.
Darius is a bit less of a mystery now.
It should not be that difficult to incite him to let me in.
Даріус із та взагалі не містері. Цього хлопчика ж треба полікувати.
Pay me a glass and I'll be gentle. Pay me a what?
Cheap price, good quality. Come on, take a look.
Тук-тук. Хто там?
Mr. Petrescu, just 1 minute, please.
You again? Go away.
Sir, wait. Stop this nonsense. I know Nurse Crane is here. Shall we speak man to man, you and I?
Що значить мантова?
All right. Speak up.
Don't you see we're on the same side? We fight to help the poor, sick, and abandoned.
I'm nothing like you, Mr. Doctor.
Yes, you are. You too believe in providing medical care without charge. You know what we have to sacrifice to make the world a better place.
I have to admit your words have conviction. All right, I'll let you see, Dorothea. Don't make me regret this, though.
Звісно, мої слова переконують. Я що, треба за тобою шпіонила 2 години? Ну так от ти мене пустив, а я лутаю твою оселю. Головне, що вони не проти. І я не можу поспати. Ну і ладно. Подумаєш. Бриколакас.
It's locked.
Тю. Ладно, пішли. А, тепер я вийти можу. Ага, зачинено, це не справжні штуки, треба постукати. Ну, або не постукати. Іде медсестра. Як добре, що я не генерую і навряд чи чимось заражуся. Бо оці от кхе-кхе тут якісь трохи страшноваті, якщо чесно. Ще якийсь лист? Лист медсестрі. Треба нагору, ну? I need help. Ну, я, напевно, тобі допоможу.
He's going into convulsions, Doctor.
Привіт.
What do we have here, nurse?
Patient Raz Van Vasily. High fever running on 3 days. Complaints of dizziness, muscle aches, and head pain. Diagnosed with influenza.
Treatment?
Aspirin and salicin for the fever and discomfort. Liquids for dehydration, but he's having trouble keeping even water down.
Так може він... Типу, саме тому не закінчились антисептики? Тому що вони як сюди таскали.
Thank you, nurse. Anything else I should know?
He did lose consciousness this morning, but he's never had convulsions like these.
He's not convulsing, he's choking. He's not getting any air. Scalpel! Hand me that scalpel!
What can I do, Doctor?
It's too dangerous to operate with these convulsions.
Sedative, nurse. Do we have any anesthetics?
I'm sorry, Doctor, none at all.
Ух. Що ж. Що він задихається? Що він таке
I need to
з'їв?
perform a tracheostomy. Short pipe. That rubber tube will do. We're going to cut a passage for air through the neck.
Yes, Doctor.
Oh.
He's breathing again, but he's coughing up blood.
Internal hemorrhaging. I need to make another incision into the chest cavity to drain the fluids from the lung. Prepare another tube.
A thoracostomy. Doctor, we've nothing to fight the infection. We need an aseptic environment.
Блін.
Right then, Nurse Crane. What do you suggest we do?
I've no idea. I'm not the doctor.
Time is of the essence. We need to perform a thoracic drain.
Yes, Doctor.
І я не встигла, да?
He's still bleeding, Doctor.
Oh.
I'm losing his pulse.
The drain must have punctured the intercostal artery. There's too much blood.
Йой.
Are you all right, Doctor?
Оу.
I can't see.
Оу. Ой-ой. Окей.
I have this, nurse. Allow me to finish the procedure alone. I need the room.
I'd prefer to stay and see this through. This is my patient, Doctor. I have
Come
needle
here.
and thread for stitching the wound.
Good. The stitches are holding. How's he doing?
We're losing him. We've lost his pulse. He's dying, Doctor.
Блін. Окей.
Cardiac massage, now.
Cardiac... What? Are you making this up as you go along?
Блін.
We've lost the pulse. He's gone, Doctor.
Nurse, we did everything we could.
Truly? Everything you could. Is that how you'll report this in your log? Is this how the war went? Piling up one poor corpse beside the next?
This was not an influenza-induced seizure. I've never seen symptoms like these on the continent.
Neither have I. But the previous symptoms leading up to this attack were the same, indistinguishable from the epidemic.
No. There was something more vile in these reactions. Something primitive.
There have been numerous reports of mental breakdowns caused by the fever that accompanies the flu itself, Doctor.
Yes, but... I'd best take some samples of the blood for analysis.
Він же правда посіжати мог померти? Правда не було тут правильної послідовності, да? Фух.
I doubt you're here to test my bedside manners. I suspect it was more than intuition alone that led you to us. So, how might I be of service, Dr. Reed?
I've come to put an end to this insufferable blackmailing, Dorothy.
Doctor, you think your warnings scare me? I've stolen and plied, blackmailed and lied, but what else am I to do? I'm all these people have.
Dr. Swansea is a sensible and honest man. He wouldn't have refused your friend's care at Pembroke.
It's easy for you to say, Doctor. These people cannot go to the police, nor to the hospital. They don't even speak English. They depend on me for everything.
But why Lady Ashbury? Why her, of all people?
She's pristine and proper, all right. But that she-wolf in sheep's clothing murders the poor for sport. I have her where she belongs, and I'll milk her for all she's got.
So, the end justifies the means. Is that your defense?
I know you're
Тобто їй
kind,
правда
Doctor.
треба гроші.
Just another fine-heeled, silver-spooned gentleman who was given the world on a platter. You know nothing of poverty, nothing of the shame, the hunger, the loneliness.
You've convinced me of the sincerity of your actions and their noble justifications. But all the same, blackmail is a crime, and it will stop, Nurse Crane.
So, are you going to turn me over to the authorities?
Боже, ні. А що я зроблю? Okay.
Listen very carefully, Dorothy. You will erase from your memory everything you pretend to know about Lady Ashbury and Pembroke Hospital.
Let that rich bitch off the hook over my dead
Nurse
body.
Crane, enough. Listen as if your life depended on every word. I know you've a generous heart who gives freely to those in need, but you shall walk away from the shadier streets of your business.
I will never abandon...
Dorothy, the discussion has come to a close. Your clandestine activities in the Resistance are over. Let it go.
I'll let it go. Yes.
Я закрила цю
gone.
пекарню. Уф. О, я прокачала Mesmerize. І здається, в цьому районі різко стане все погано. Вибачте мені, будь ласка.
It's locked, all right.
Хлопці
It's locked.
і дівчата. Ой. Ну, конечно.
This one stinks already.
Але ж в цьому району, здається, в кожному разі була б срака, да? Ну, так мені здається. А цікаво, я зможу прокрастися тут таке? Так, ну, двері відкриті.
Step away, sir.
Я намагаюсь. А я можу ще раз з ним поговорити?
Hello, Mr. Petrescu.
Hello, Dr. Reed. Come on in.
Дякую. District status serious. Ну, блін, я не знаю, що з ним робити ще.
If you want to talk to Dorothea, you must go across the courtyard and take the stairs.
We've not been formally introduced. May I ask your name and occupation, sir?
I am Darius Petrescu. I'm here to keep snitches and spies away from Dorothea. And I also run this little print shop.
So Dorothy's real name is not Crane.
Like myself and many people in this area, Dorothea is from occupied Romania. That's all you need to know.
She seems important to the community.
More than you can imagine. The West End does not want to hear of Whitechapel's misery. Dorothea is one of the few doing something about it.
Did you refuse to publish Richard Nethercott's previous works, Darius?
Yes, his manuscript is as pompous as he is starched. Now there's a man who loves the sound of his own voice.
You could have told him so.
As a great writer recently said, politeness is the most acceptable hypocrisy.
Tell me everything you know about Camellia, the mute florist.
I do not believe in the afterlife, Doctor, but I'm almost convinced Camellia is an angel. She volunteered to give out our medical leaflets.
Are you not worried for her safety?
She is as brave as she is tough, and clever too. If only I had met her when I was younger.
Are you in love with Camellia, Mr. Petrescu?
Don't be stupid. If I had met her when I was younger, we could have won our revolution.
Who is she, really? Do you know where she's from?
She's not from around here, that's all we know. Camellia is not even her name. It's her favorite flower.
You say she has no close family?
Well, there's that awful poet who constantly follows her around like a lost puppy. A good man for sure, but a very poor writer.
Do you have any family left, Mr. Petrescu? Children or grandchildren?
Who knows? I have abandoned my people for so long, they might as well be dead. As dead as I am for them, I suppose.
Don't be embarrassed, sir. If you must know, my own father disappeared many years ago, and I forgave him.
It's quite awkward to talk about our families like this, but thank you, Dr. Reed. I appreciate your trust.
This war won't last forever. Did you ever think of returning to your country now it's free?
No. I have taught strength and determination to my sons and daughters. I'm an old, dying man who only has memories of better times to cherish.
How did you meet Nurse Crane, Darius? Why does she trust you?
I'm her oldest friend in England. Dorothea and I share many ideas about this country and about the country we left.
You mean occupied Romania, don't you? Even if not directly, I fought against your enemies.
Really? Then perhaps you have more in common with Dorothea than meets the eye, Dr. Reed.
I know you fought for your country when it was occupied, Darius. Tell me more about it.
I know my days are numbered, and I know I won't see my homeland again. But I fought for Romania all my life, and I will until my last breath.
But Romania escaped the grasp of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. It's a free country again.
It is not the country I fought for. My homeland is not appeased, Doctor. But I still see a dark future ahead for my people.
Do you need some help, Mr. Petrescu?
I am very tired, but that is all. I don't need you, Doctor.
Well, if you feel all right, that's fine. Goodbye, Mr. Petrescu.
Щось мені не подобався отой напис, що район скоро відчує результати ваших дій. Якось воно Взагалі не весело. Так, як мені вийти? Ноги. Я думаю, що після такого сюжетного повороту треба відпочити. Так що, па-па, побачимося колись скоро.